What up, everybody? I didn't think I was going to do another StreamYard for the rest of the year, but here we are. Um, Let me share this real quick. The link to all this. Let me cut this off. Let's see. But nonetheless, make sure everything's working. I thought I didn't have. I guess since it's still trying to charge. This is random talk. No glitz and glamour as I besides that. But we do have a guest. It is, of
Hello?
course, Cypress.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, let me switch this up. So before I say anything, I may disappear for a second. So, and I should have time to be able to, I'll be right back. But there may be a few times where I have to disappear for should be longer than 5 minutes, just to forewarn you. I may not, but I just want to forewarn you.
Are you working while doing this?
No, I'm not working. I don't have work in the morning because it's the end of the year and they're doing a bunch of inventory stuff. And I had a bunch, and you have to use your time before the end of the year. And I really didn't want to count things all day. So I just used my morning time.
I get that.
I mean, if I have it, if I don't use it, I'll lose it. And I do not want to spend my day counting things. So I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I'll stay in.
I get that. What was I going to say? Yeah, I was talking about in the previous stream while attacking people in GTA, talking about a random old lady or homeless lady.
Well,
Bobbin, we're having technical issues here, ladies and gentlemen, and we lost him.
No, I'm still here.
David strikes again. That damn David with all this technical issues.
You should be able to hear me.
I can hear you.
All right, I have 5 bars. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, I guess I'll just stay right here for now so I don't move. Because right now I'm just kind of outside because I'm bored, to be honest. So I figured the best course of action is to get some steps in and talk. Well, so that's why I might lose connection. But anyway, so I noticed you were live, and I figured, why not? Why not come in and see what's going on? You know why I think we lost connection? I want to change my audio to my actual phone because I think right now you're set to my... Oh, you can't. You're set to my speaker, but I kind of want you to be in my headset. Hold on. Bear with me.
All right. I was going to say, sometimes the Bluetooth shit happens like that usually. That's why sometimes I don't usually use it. Yeah, I got off of work at 6 and was just fucking... I was planning on streaming anyway, but I was mainly doing the game. I'll probably do a part 2 is on a different day. Let's entertain and commit some crime. I like the name of it.
All right, hey, I fixed my connection.
Oh, okay. Hey, big boy, how are you doing, man?
So, what do you want to talk about? We could talk about... Just kidding, I'm not... What I wanted to say, though, is I noticed you were streaming, and I felt like it's been a long time since I came on a stream, and I just kind of wanted to check to see how things were. I know I haven't been on your channel in a long time, and a lot has happened, which I won't go into detail. If anybody has a problem with Chayton coming back on StreamYard, just remember he made the rule that he wasn't going to be on StreamYard, and you can blame me because I asked him to be on StreamYard. And I got to be honest, I don't even agree with that whole thing. I think you should just be able to stream when you want to stream. If you want to take a break, you take a break. But anyway, that's how it's your prerogative. It's what you want to do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I get it.
Well, and plus, it's like the old saying is if I break my let's be honest here. I don't owe anybody a fucking thing. Oh, we lost Tom. Anyway, I don't owe anybody a fucking thing. If I want to take a break off of fucking doing whatever, I can. If I want to fucking come back here and fucking do a stream the next day after I just say that, I can. Because at the end of the day, if I want to fucking say something or do whatever, I can. I don't owe anybody a fucking thing. I'm doing this out of either just having fun, love, whatever, for people to watch it, enjoy my shit, and all that.
The way I look at it is you were in exile for long enough, so you don't need to self-impose your own exiles. anymore. Like I feel like you already crossed that bridge, you know. So
And
that's
really the only reason why I was like even thinking about doing that is just because of the fact that like because there was a point in time where I didn't even still knew what I was going to do. Was I going to be off streaming altogether? Was I going to do this? Was I going to do that? Because the fact remains is that sometimes, and let's be honest here, sometimes with all the shit that goes on around here, whether good, bad, or indifferent, sometimes you need a fucking break. And
yes.
in the holiday and all that.
Yeah, like a break. How I always leave my breaks is open up for like to be determined. Like, you know, like it's holiday season. I may not be able to do so and so. If I do, cool. I never try to do absolutes because, I mean, typically your typical viewer base would be like happy. Like, hey, he said he wasn't going to do a StreamYard, but he did a StreamYard. Like your typical viewer base would be like, that's pretty cool. It's just the assholes that are going to be like, he said he wasn't going to do it and then he did it. But who the hell cares about the assholes? Honestly, they're not they're just going to be assholes anyway. So like if whoever says that is just an asshole, at the end of the day, you should be happy that a content creator was willing to make content. There's no reason, if you're a true fan of the person, there's no reason to be like, fuck that guy. He said he wasn't going to make content and he made content. Well, then fuck you. Don't watch the channel then. Like, it's so crazy. It's all just reason. It's all just bitching for bitching at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like, it's like criticize you, criticize this person, that person, and then it's like, but like I'm all open to criticism. I've always said that, but usually with me, it's 9 times out of 10, especially with some Joe like nobody down the block, I'm just gonna be like, fuck you, go fuck yourself and eat a dick. Like if it's someone actually I'm cool with or I'm friends with, I'll listen to them and shit. Like, oh yeah, don't do this or
well, it's hard to listen to people, and I'm definitely. I promise anybody listening, I'm not calling out anybody. It's this normal content creation problems, and I'm just highlighting it. This isn't calling out people. So if anyone feels like they're being called out, that isn't my intent. My intent is to highlight content creation problems that I've seen and worked with. The problem is there's a certain group of people that watch you and are excited to see your videos. Then there's a certain group of people that watch you and they hate you. And if you constantly cater to the people that hate you, you create more people that hate you because you're catering towards them. Your content is geared towards them.
The lotion ready.
So like at the end of the day, like that's kind of like where you got to like figure it out. People always call out everybody. I mean, and that's just what it is. And I personally don't let it affect me publicly. Like I don't make streams about it. I sometimes highlight it or joke about it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I still got people messaging me, when are you going to do a live stream, which I haven't done in a while, which I do plan on doing. Again, to be determined. It's just really confusing. I moved my studio from a different location, so that took a while. And then another thing that I've been working on other projects with other people, and that's taking priority. So it's just I got more, and then I got a whole new endeavor that I've started a few weeks ago, which I'm not even going to go into detail with that because that is really nothing to do with streaming. And there's just other ways I'm doing things to kind of keep myself afloat. And streaming is kind of like very low on the totem pole. But there was a talk, and I'll just announce it here since I don't know the next time you and I are going to be able to talk about this publicly. Yeah. But there was a talk about you and I doing a talk show, and I won't mention the other person's name because they're not here and it wouldn't be fair, and we'll announce the other person down the road. But there was talks about you and I going into an actual talk show, more akin to open forum, but with us. I mean, everybody does open forum, but I mean, let's be honest. A lot of times when open forum is done, the person hosting it is either MIA or the person hosting it, there's no direction. And I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying from what I see on multiple StreamYards, it's just kind of like people streaming to stream. There's no actual reason to stream. Like, hey, I'm bored. Let's stream. Like even this stream right now, I already had talking points because I don't know the next time we're going to stream. So this stream I felt like was important, and I had the time, and it was like a perfect storm of us being together to talk about this.
I was still like, I was on my way home from Walmart, and I was like literally thinking to myself, like, am I still going to stream GTA? Because I was going to do it anyway, because I'm like, I got a few hours. I don't have any planned today. You know, my I still don't know what. Oh, my old battle axe. We're not probably seeing each other tomorrow. So I was like, what was the name we called it? Oh, my old battle axe. I'm also see her tomorrow. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And like right now, because I'm planning on doing some gameplay series at the beginning of January. So I was like, I'm still feeling the need I still want to stream some games. But I'm like, I don't need to fucking do a series where I just focus on that. I'm just going to fucking stream random shit.
Yeah.
There's some random bitches on the fucking while I'm talking about running off a random bitch with a bat at my work.
GTA 5 is kind of apropos for right now because of the GTA 6 news, which I mean it makes sense. Definitely. I think from a perspective of talking points, I mean a lot has happened just in the last week. I mean, the gaming awards happened, which there was a lot of few announcements that I'm actually really excited for. And I'm interested to see where gaming goes in the next year because this year was pretty good. And it wasn't even, I mean, honestly, there was a few disappointments, but like for the most part, I felt like even the disappointments were at least exciting people before they disappointed them. Like Starfield, I guess is the glaring problem here. So that's something that I would love to talk about because by the time you and I do a show, that's going to be dead and no one's going to care about that. We're already going to be pushing on to like January or February.
My highlights of the Game Awards was mainly the Dragon Ball was a Sparking Hope or whatever.
Yes, I saw that. Yep.
Because that's supposed to be Budokai Tenkaichi 4. They just renamed it.
Yes, they dropped the Z. It's just straight Dragon Ball. I noticed.
Yeah, that one. That's up on my top. Blade, however,
Blade is going to be in the form of Dishonored, which is what do they call that? A immersive simulator, which I love those.
The only thing I'll say is I'm not sold yet on the art style because I've never liked the Dishonored and the other games' art style. I know that's controversial, but that's just me.
The art style was very like almost. I know what you're talking about because I played BioWare or BioShock, and BioShock had that art style, but it was grittier, so you didn't notice it as much.
Yeah, so I like the art style didn't bother me there, and then so to go from there, but like I'm interested. I'm also wondering what's going to come out first: the Blade game or the Blade movie.
I mean, hopefully they come around the same time because let's be honest, Avatar was just released last week, and I played a little bit of it. It's pretty good. It's Far Cry though. It's 100% Far Cry. Like this is Ubisoft's Far Cry for the year, but it almost plays like Far Cry Primal, and that game was I loved it. I played a little bit of it. I think it's interesting and pretty cool. So if Blade can kind of play like that, which I don't know, because every time I read, it says it's going to be like Dishonored, but RoboCop Rogue City came out a month or two ago, and that was out of the blue dropped by an independent, I don't know if they're an independent developer, but they also made like Terminator a few years ago, and they made Rambo in 2009.
Yeah.
So that's a Blade style game.
Yeah, Terminator was good, so I will give them that.
I don't know if you played the RoboCop game, but I do recommend it.
I haven't played it, but I've heard good things about it. But like Terminator, like if you just told me it was from the people who made the Rambo game, I would have been like, fuck off. But Terminator was actually really good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, each game got better. So I think that if Blade, so RoboCop is, everyone compares RoboCop to Deus Ex, and everybody compares Dishonored to Deus Ex. So if Blade is supposedly like Dishonored, then it's in the same family. And one thing these games all have in common is they're open-ended. Not as much, they're not like, I wouldn't call them RPG, but because they're not quite Skyrim. But if you've ever played Deus Ex, you know what I mean. If it feels like that, I'm happy. I'm all for it.
Wait, did the studio who made these, didn't they also make that Redfall game that came out early this year?
Bethesda, but that was not the same company. So Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, so there's tons of divisions. That was not, I don't believe, I could be wrong. I believe that.
What Blade is going to be, because I know Arcane is doing it, but is Blade being published by Bethesda? Because if that's the case, and we know what system it's going to be exclusive to.
I don't think so. I think it's just I don't have the resources right now to search, but I don't believe so. I think it's just being compared to. I don't think it's developed by. If it is being developed by Bethesda, all Bethesda games are coming out for Xbox, which kind of is terrible decision making in my opinion. I personally feel like Sony is kind of playing. I blame Xbox too. They kind of play their cards dumb in the sense of making exclusives, because you want people to buy your game. Like software is great. Software is a one-time purchase. Who the F cares about software? Why would all you have to do to sell your game to make up for the software is you just have to sell that particular game, I don't know, like 5 times, and you've already bought the software to play the game. I don't get why Microsoft and Xbox wouldn't just make their games available for all platforms and make more money. Let's be honest, Microsoft, Sony, or PC, everybody ends up owning all the consoles by the end of the generation anyway, or at some point. Not all of them, maybe not at the same time, but everybody ends up owning them at any particular time. So Xbox always gets their money. PlayStation always gets their money. I just don't understand why these exclusives or timed exclusives, like Spider-Man 2, we all know it's coming to PC eventually.
Yeah.
But why not Xbox? Like, once they run that river dry on the PlayStation, why don't they release it on the Xbox?
Oh,
because then they can make more money.
Oh, that's tomorrow. I was like, oh shit, today's the 12th, but it's not. Because I was like, ooh, that means that we're getting the DLC for God of War.
Ragnarok, the Valhalla thing. Yeah.
Which that was nice. Like listen up, AEW, with your fucking extra DLC for that honestly sucks, because I'm still pissed off about what's happened with AEW, the Fight Forever. But that's a side point, because they have nothing to do with the Game Awards. But
I played it a little bit. Speaking of wrestling, I actually read an article early this morning. It's a rumor right now, unless it's been confirmed at this point. But as far as early this morning, it was a rumor. WWE 2K24 or 25. What's the next one? 25. 24. Okay, so that one is supposedly going to have their showcase mode is going to be The Rock's career. And one of the showcase modes. It said one of the showcase modes, which tells me that there's going to be multiple. Which makes me wonder, is there going to be a My Rise mode, or are they just giving us... I doubt very much they'd give us more content, but I heard that...
I heard that it's supposed to be on PS5, PS4, which I kind of wish they didn't bring out PS4, because I kind of want them just to focus on next gen, so that way they don't feel handicapped.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Like when the jump from PS5 or PS3 to PS4, they were smart about it, where they kept all the good shit on the PS4 version, and the PS3 version kind of was the lesser version, right? I would hope that maybe they could do that with this version.
Well, I watched a YouTube video about WWE 2K20 or 2K15. And the Xbox 360 and the PS3 versions of that game actually had more modes. They had more match types.
Running off of the fucking what was it? The 2K14 engine.
Yes.
So they were able to do that. Well, most of the PS3 versions had like some of the modes still intact compared to that. So like by the idea of that, yes, it's correct, but I do wish that they were just, I don't know. I'm just hoping that they're able to put something next gen only to entice people to get the game, because let's be honest, right now there's no reason. If you own, yes, graphics are teensy weensy better looking, but let's be honest here. Both games, like 2K23 on the PS4 and PS5, maybe frame rate for war games, I'm thinking. I don't know.
No, they cap it at 60 across the board, because
okay.
I'm going to give you a little information about the engine that runs 2K. It's stuck at 60. It's stuck. So like you couldn't run the game at 30 because it'll slow. It'll run in slow motion. The game has to be run at 60. There's no uncap. Well, I guess you can uncap it on PC, but in terms of console, it won't skip frames. It'll slow the frames. So if you drop frames, it won't be skipping them like usual. It'll just look like really slow motion. And you need to have 60 frames to run that game. I don't know why 2K does that, but 2K does that with NBA also. So that's why sometimes when people are playing NBA and there's a lot going on and they feel like their buttons aren't responding correctly, it's because their animations are running in slow motion and they're not timing it correctly. It's a problem with 2K games, and it's one of the very few games where it locks at 60. And I don't mean like caps at 60. It has to run at 60. You can't go under 60 or it doesn't play right. And I believe on console, even if you went to 120, it would run really fast. It would just be unplayable. So like it's a weird thing that the 2K games have. And maybe they'll fix it in the next release. But every experience that I've had with 2K, if it dips below 60, it's extremely noticeable. Like some games you can run at 30, you can't run WWE 2K at 30. It's just going to play like a mess.
Funny enough, though, is that speaking of frame rates, I was looking actually right now at my screen, my PS5. So recently they released the Batman the Batman Arkham trilogy on Switch.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna be honest. I am preparing myself to either just save up for a Steam Deck or wait for the new version of the Switch. I'm talking the Switch 2 or whatever the fuck it's going to be called. So I kept my Switch only because of Arkham, because I give two shits about anything else that's on the Switch currently, because I played almost everything that I wanted to play. I don't care about Tears of the Kingdom because I'm not paying $70 fucking for a game that is going to look inferior to whatever else. I'm not going to pay $70 for Mortal Kombat 1 when it looks god-awful on the Switch. But I was looking because I've been waiting and hoping that one day they would bring the Arkham games to the Switch. Now, they have not. And one thing I will say, though, what the smart thing should have been, they put Batman Arkham Asylum, City, and fucking Origins on there. That would have been the smart thing to do. No, they decided to put Arkham Knight, which is why I waited. I didn't pre-order it. I didn't buy it. I didn't do anything until I heard the reviews for the game. And as soon as I fucking saw that, Arkham Knight was running awful, I'm like, I'm good. Fuck that. I'm not going to spend. And then even Arkham fucking Asylum looks like has issues on the Switch.
That shocks me, because you're talking about a game that came out in 2009 when people were still rocking old graphics cards like 560s, and you're talking to like old GPUs that this game was meant to run on a computer that was from 2004. Arkham Asylum was meant to run at its lowest setting on a computer that is almost 20 years old. Just keep that in mind. So there's no reason why they couldn't have had it run on Switch. I just can't comprehend that.
Again, that was the only reason why I've not, because I've really not played my Switch except for when I go out, and since I've been working a lot more, I've not needed it. So I just decided, you know what? I actually gave it I was originally going to sell it, and I was like, I'll get someone who actually will put more time in it than I will.
You would honestly just buy a Steam Deck, because you can run Switch games on a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Download the ROMs. This point, people are wasting their money buying a Switch, mainly because they are already basically pretty much announced that a new system's coming out next year. They haven't done it yet, but I'm almost positive that they're releasing a system in 2024. Some people say 2025, but I have a feeling it's going to be 2024, because at that point it'll be 8 years old.
So let's be honest. They need to step up their game with the new Switch or whatever, because they got a good format. But the problem with Nintendo has been since the fucking Wii, at least I can
give you some. Here's what I think. This is just me thinking, based on me working with computers and knowing how technology is advancing, and it's advancing rapidly. I think that I keep reading online that the new Switch is going to be as powerful as the PS4, and people are mad about that. But there's a few technologies that have advanced within the last 2 years, especially within the last year, that is I'm okay with. There's a new thing on GPUs, both NVIDIA and AMD. They have a thing called FrameGen. What FrameGen is AI automatically inserts missing dropped frames. So the better the quality. So you can hype it up to, like, I don't know. I'll give you an example. If you have I'm going to put this in terms of a console player. If you're playing a PS3 game, if you're playing a PS4 game on a PS3, and it never was meant to be on a PS3, but you somehow magically managed to make it work, it's probably going to run at like sub 20 frames per second, like if that. Just because based on the graphic differences, you're not going to get a smooth experience. Now, if you turn on FrameGen, which FSR has it, I think that's AMD's, and that'll like kind of AI will import the frames. It'll smooth out the process. It will actually bring it up to no joke, per second. You're talking about almost a 3 times improvement. You'll be able to not only smoothly run a PS4 game.
I was about to say, oh fuck! I was like, I heard silence. I was like, what happened?
No, it's just my area. You probably hear seagulls and sirens because I'm also near the ocean. But so what you're gonna get is you're gonna get like a better than PS4 experience because of FrameGen. Not only that, there's a new technology within NVIDIA graphics cards, which is what Nintendo has been working with. There's actually the same graphics card that's in the NVIDIA Shield that's inside the Switch. It's the same graphics card. So with that being said, NVIDIA, from what I read, is also working on the Switch 2, whatever it's going to be called. And they have DLSS. DLSS is a auto resolution scaling, which means that the distance, it won't change the pop in, but it'll kind of change the resolution when needed. If it's dark, the resolution will increase, because when bad resolution is noticeable in dark areas, it'll look choppy, and really in certain areas it won't be noticeable. So it'll actually, the AI inside the graphics card will detect where to change resolution, and that will also give you a smooth experience. So yes, the Nintendo Switch 2 might be as powerful as a PS4, but with the advancements in the chip that's going to be in it, you might get a just on par experience and not even notice it on a future console. Let me give you an example. My cousin has and this is for people that understand PC, just search it if you don't. If you have a 4060 or 4050, those are like low end graphics cards. Those are like not even as good as PS5. Those are like right under PS5. But they're better than PS4. They're like middle of the road. If you were to run that new Avatar game, you're probably going to get at max settings, 1440p, you'll probably get like 39 frames per second. That's not even close to 60. So you're talking about a bad frame rate. If you turn on FSR, which is FrameGen, and you turn on DLSS or whatever graphics card you have, whatever one you want to turn on, I swear to God, look it up online. It'll jump your frames up to 170 something frames per second, anywhere from 150 to 170. So you're talking about going from 39 frames per second all the way up to 100 and something. That's crazy. So like,
is the resolution intact?
The resolution is barely noticeable. Barely noticeable. It only changes the resolution when you're in certain areas where the game demands more out of your graphics card, and it'll loosen up when it doesn't. So like if you're in a high explosive area and there's tons of stuff happening, then yes, your resolution might scale back, but you're not going to notice it if you're running at 1440p, because there'll be so many explosions going on. There's so much happening. I barely notice it. I turn it on I have a 3080, which is as powerful. It's stronger than a PS5. And I turn on the resolution scale sometimes so I can play 4K and smoothly. I'm looking at it at 4K and I don't even notice it dipping to 1440 or 1080. It's hard to see. And most console players sit further away than PC players. So if you're a console player, you're even less likely to notice.
Well,
sitting on your
it's like on GTA 5 right now. Like I have the GTA 5. I think the what do you call it? I thought the game was still active. But like for GTA 5, I have it. Let me see if I can look it up here. Okay. Display, graphics mode. My graphics mode is performance ray tracing. That's usually what I usually do for that if I do
Well, the first thing I do is I kill ray tracing. I don't use ray tracing. It's just I don't notice it enough because games still have artificial ray tracing, and I feel like it's just you usually can't do this in games these days on console, but I just shut it off because to me it's a demand on my hardware that's not worth the increase in frame, like not worth the decrease in frames. Like I might lose 20, 30 frames just because I'm using ray tracing, and I just don't really care too much about it. It looks pretty though, I will admit, but like to me, it's just like it's
for fidelity, performance. Well, then you said not performance ray tracing.
I always leave it at performance. Performance is where I stick it. Like I don't need the game to look pretty unless I'm taking pictures of my area. I play the game to play the game, but everyone's different. Like some people want to have like the high end performance. I mean, quality.
There you go, man. And hey, Adam, I didn't say hello.
But yeah, no, I get it. I think that the Switch 2 will run as good as the PS5, but it'll have like a ton of band-aids on it to get it to run there. It's almost like they're going to supercharge a car to run better. The graphics card will be able to fake it. So how they say fake it to make it. The graphics card will have enough in it to fake it. So most people won't even realize what I just said. Like most average console gamer, all of what I just said went over their head. They have no clue what I'm talking about. They're just going to pop the game on and they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is just as good as PS5. They're not going to know anything about frame gen and DLSS and FSR. They're not going to know none of that. It's just to them, it's a game that's going to run, and I think that it'll look fine. I think everyone likes to be dramatic whenever anybody releases a new system, no matter what. Remember when the PS4 came out and everybody on the internet was complaining that it wobbled?
like the fucking the system itself with the graphics.
The system itself would wobble. I remember like the day it came out, there was a ton of videos on YouTube where everyone was saying that it doesn't sit flat, it wobbles. And this was like a major talking point.
Oh, to be fair, look at what we're dealing with the PS5 where we have a fucking stand on it, and shit like that.
Can't even, I know the PS5 is even worse when it comes to resting on an entertainment system. So like people just like to complain about it. When it's Nintendo, we all know.
Yeah, with the Switch, like, well, I've always said this about Nintendo. This is why I've kind of fallen off in regards to, I like a lot of your points. I see, like, I just feel like they will always be, even though they still sell really well, I feel like they will always be the basically third place in terms of graphical power, like,
yes, you're right, because the graphical power will be akin to PS4. It's just the technology is going to make it seem like it can run better than or run just to compete with the PS5. But yeah, you're right, powerfully wise, technically. So let's look beyond the games. Let's look beyond the video games of a Switch 2, because the games can fake it. Like they can have frame gen and all that stuff. They can fake it to make it have a smooth experience. That's fine. But when it comes to like productivity, I think that's where the Switch 2 is going to lack. It's not going to be able to do as much when it comes to multiple videos at the same time, or having multiple windows open, or uploading and streaming at the same time that you're playing games. Switch won't be able to do that.
People regarding the Switch, like that's why I only bought the Switch Lite. And even if they make a Switch 2, if there is a Lite version of it, I'm probably going to buy that one and not buy the main Switch 2 and all that. Because to me, personally, I get it for the Nintendo exclusives. Like, let's say you want to play the new Legend of Zelda game or Mario or whatever the fuck on your big TV. But like, let's say 90% of your games are ports of other games.
Yes.
Why would I want to play an inferior if I'm gonna buy this version of this game, I'm going to buy it for the sole purpose of playing it portably. So I'm not going to, because if I'm playing on my TV when I have a PS5 version of that same game, I'm playing the inferior version. So like, again, it's just like, why buy the one that you could do both? Because for me personally, I'm not going to need that. And again, if I want the best graphical things on my TV, fucking stick with my PS5 or Xbox Series X, whatever system you own or whatever system you have.
So the only game that the Switch that I even care about on my main TV is Smash. It's literally the only game that I would even feel like I'd want to have on a main TV to have like multiple people playing, because you can't really do it. There's nothing else I can think of where a handheld wouldn't fit the bill. Like I feel
because look at it this way. If you want to go and play fucking let's say Legend of Zelda, you want to play on your fucking you want a great looking fucking open world adventure game that is great. I haven't played Mirage yet, but fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla, fucking that blows fucking any Zelda game out of the park in terms of just look. Like if you want something just breathtaking.
Yes, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla struggled. There were certain moments in that game where it struggled on the best PCs. Yeah. And nowadays it doesn't, because again, the new technology had made it look better. But back, 3 years ago when the game first came out, yes, it's been that long since Valhalla. When it first came out, there were certain segments, like there's a few times where your boats land and you come offshore onto the mainland, and frames were tanking. Like even you could have the top tier PC and the frames would dip to like 25 frames per second coming off of the shoreline. So yeah, it took a while for them to get there, but yeah, Assassin's Creed is one of the top tier to this day graphical performances. It's the Witcher 3 of our time, of the now is Valhalla.
Yeah, like Valhalla, like it's a game I still go back to it and check it out, and again, like, I've openly said I'm not the biggest Zelda person in the world, like in terms of the games. Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time are great, but I remember as a kid when I was playing some of the old Super Nintendo ones, I just found them quite boring. I know it's a slap. It's like I'm very weird, and when it comes to certain games, like I love like the GTA series and all that, and I love I
still say you need to play Dark Souls, and I have more proof that you need to play it right now. You ready? Did you know that in 2020, I think it was 2020 or 2019, maybe it was I don't know. Within the last 5 years, they announced the greatest game of the last 40 years, and that game #1 was Dark Souls. #1 was Dark Souls.
Well, I'm gonna I have played a little bit of Dark Souls. The only I am gonna download Demon Souls. That's kind of one I'm gonna be doing. And
Demon Souls is okay. Demon Souls is a good prelude into Dark Souls. My issues with Demon Souls is that it's
the remake or the
game remake. Either one doesn't matter. Demon Souls always felt like a prototype of Dark Souls to me.
Yeah, if you really think about it, yeah.
And Dark Souls has a certain feel about it that even Bloodborne doesn't. Bloodborne kind of has it, but even Bloodborne doesn't have. Dark Souls has this feel where, like, it's one of the only games where you struggle, but you want to keep struggling, if that makes any sense. Because the reward, you play some games, and you just okay, I'm done. This game pisses me off. I'm done. But with Dark Souls, when you lose, it feels like your fault. Like it's very hard to blame the game, because and you always feel like, oh, if I just did this, or because the button response is very good on Dark Souls. So it's almost like you always feel like, oh, let me switch my weapon. Let me try. And they got different classes. It's one of the games where I recommend anybody play. It is difficult, but it makes you a better gamer in the end, because you can use a lot of the techniques you learn in Dark Souls and apply it to any kind of game. And at the end of the day, it makes you better. So I do think for your channel, I think in 2023, you should play the first Dark Souls just to play it, because they have a remastered version. The problem is it rarely goes on sale. I don't think I've ever, not on sale. It never goes on. It never goes on paid things.
Classics, right? Or PlayStation
Yeah.
Plus?
Dark Souls 3 is the newest one, and that one I haven't seen go on sale in years, to be honest.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm looking at the short by A to Z for PlayStation. Where is it? Go with it. Where's Bloodborne? Where is?
So Bloodborne was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, that one. That one's you could download. I could download. Though I did have it download for a little bit. All right. Demon Souls, of course. There's that one. Death Stranding, Deadliest Warrior, Dead Island, Dark Void, Darksiders. No Dark Souls on the PlayStation Plus, but Demon Souls. How much?
Yeah, Demon Souls is a good introduction to the series. Demon Souls didn't sell as well.
53 gigs. Okay, that's not too bad.
Demon Souls didn't sell well because they only released it in Japan for early on, and by the time it came into America, it had already been imported and people had already played it, and they kind of botched the release of Demon Souls. But Dark Souls, when that came out, that was they had learned from Demon Souls, and they were able to see why Americans liked it, and they were able to incorporate everything they learned. And then that game came out, and then Elden Ring, which is a lot easier than it's not easy, but Elden Ring is a lot easier than Dark Souls.
I still need to play that. ITV kept telling me about it. Dragon says you're up early. Well, technically, I've been up ever since work last night. So yeah. What someone was going to say though. Yeah, like that is going to be something I look into regarding all that. Because like really, besides the only game I want to get where I can want to try like do a gameplay series through is like fucking what is it? Alan Wake 2. But I probably won't do that to the beginning of the year as well. But like I guess my two goals for January is going to be Evil Within, and then Demon Souls to start off with, and then just wait until first a magical sale of Dark Souls.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to come down to if From Software now.
Unless I find it at like a GameStop or somewhere for dirt cheap, which I could for under.
You could. The problem is GameStop is really dwindling they're pushing all of their, at least mine locally, are pushing all of their physical copies to online, and I'm saying less and less.
Certain locations here, like certain ones, like the one that I used to work at, that one has been fucking, dwindling their stuff. So I get that, but like other stores have a pretty massive selection, which is nice to see. See,
a few years ago, when Walmart was getting rid of all of their collections, like Walmart was cutting their physical copies in half, and now I believe I think within the next 2 years they're going to completely get rid of it.
Well, and also they've been upping some of the stuff. Like I've been seeing, like I went to Walmart today, and this Walmart wasn't as like impressive in terms of they didn't have a lot of their stock wasn't that good, but the Steelbook section, which again I still need to get the Dragon Ball Z Walmart exclusive Blu-ray sets, but I found this. I didn't even know this had a 4K release, and actually I didn't even know about this. And this is coming from someone who knows physical media. Let me try to see if I can get the light a little bit better. But it's the
I see it, yeah.
Yeah, it's Dragon Ball Superhero that came out last year, and it's 4K, which is I don't know if this is a Walmart exclusive or whatnot, because I have not seen this anywhere else, and it was only, again, for a 4K steelbook of a recently released movie for $26. I couldn't pass it up. But
yeah, because there's like local Walmarts near me don't have that stuff. I mean, last time I was saying, I think it was a few years ago. I don't remember the year exactly, but they cut their physical copies in half, and they had like games for dirt cheap. Like Dark Souls 3 was going for like $20, and that was right around the time the game was like still a $60 release. I think it's still to this day. I think it's still to this day a $60 release. But my point is, they were like trying to push everything copies out the door. Your Best Buys locally, I mean, honestly, your best bet to get physical copies right now would be Best Buy, because they're the ones that announced in 2024, 2024 January, I think it was, they're going to get rid of all of their physical copies.
They're only getting rid of movies. Like they're still selling games, from what I understand.
I don't see why they'd even care. That's weird to me. They must have a contractual obligation to sell physical copies for video games.
When I went to Best Buy recently for Black November, as I've called it, I said that's a lot. Like, and even when I went there, you could tell they didn't care. Like their entire, they had the boxes, like they had a good selection, but it was all discombobulated. You didn't fucking know where it was, shit like that. And I'm like, I had to basically look online. Okay, how much is this one? How much is that one? Because their prices were all fucked up and shit. And I said, well, I'm kind of glad it's probably going to be my last time coming here, because I was a big sport, but I will give Walmart credit. They're stepping up their fucking Steelbook game in 2024. I've been noticing, like, they even have a fucking section just for Steelbooks. And
you know what's crazy is you think it's because they're having a hard time selling copies in general, so they entice buyers with steel copies and collector's editions.
Well, also, to show that physical media still has a pulse. The one movie that's been very hard to get right now is Oppenheimer on 4K. Like, I went to my local, again, Walmart, and like if I saw that, I would have gotten that instead. I hate to like just. I saw an entire display of Oppenheimer in 4K at my Walmart, and they don't have physical copies much. But you lied. Okay.
No, I'll tell you. Well, if it's still there, I don't really go to Walmart.
I've been hearing that from other. Now, granted, it could have been restocked recently, but I've been noticing that Oppenheimer was having a lot of good sales and all that.
So what it is at the end cap, they got it's all in the same section, but they got 4K standard, and I don't remember seeing a Blu-ray 4K. I just remember seeing 4K. It was like but I don't remember seeing. I don't even know if Blu-ray is still a thing. That's how I haven't even been in.
Well, yeah, Blu-ray is still a thing. But like Walmart's like the main ones. They can still find DVDs. Like I saw, what was it? What movies did I see at Walmart? So Saw X, which again, if I saw that on Blu-ray or 4K, I would have picked it up. But they only had DVD. Fucking. The Expendables, they had the Blu-ray, they had the Steelbook, but it was all fucking mangled. They had a few of them mangled right there. I was like,
when I was younger, one of the cool things to collect were steel cards. I was like real little, but my dad would collect them and he'd buy them, and I used to have all these steel. I remember
some wrestling steel cards back.
Yeah, it was a popular thing. Yeah, and then late '90s, it was like maybe early 2000s. It was like an extremely popular thing, these steel cards. It was like, but they were like sharp. You could use them to like hurt somebody if you like threw them at them.
It's like in the like DVD, early stage of DVD, they used to have like their version of like Steelbooks were like these tin cases. Like you could go to I don't know how much it is now, but I went to an exchange one time and they had this tin box set of the Halloween 4 Return of Michael Myers, the DVD. And not even a very good DVD transfer wise, but they were selling that for fucking $90, and that actually was cheap compared to how much it's selling elsewhere.
So and to bring it back to games, the Halo 3 Collector's Edition was a steel. I still have the steel. I actually have two steel. I barely have any physical copies, but I have and I don't even have the physical CD. I just kept the case.
Same.
I have a steel book somewhere of Halo 3, and I have the Mario Kart 8 steel book and a Zelda Breath of the Wild steel book, or not steel book, steel case.
I have the GameStop exclusive for the Sonic Frontier steel book, which I don't own the game physically. I have it digitally. I have the steel book for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2. Again, own that digitally. I think I have the Far Cry 6 steel book still. Again, most of these games I own, but I don't own them physically anymore.
Yeah, you just keep the collector's stuff because honestly,
Bayonetta, and fucking.
Oh, I used to have the Bayonetta too.
Bayonetta and the Bayonetta and Vanquish two. When they remastered the two games.
Yes. Yeah, and they came out together.
Yeah.
I got that too. I don't have it anymore. I don't even own the steel case for it, but I did have it at one point.
Yeah, I think I only have Vanquish on my PS4 or 5 right now, and like that was like those are all that. And like some people ask you, oh, you collect gaming digitally, but you buy movies physically. So what's the difference? Well, I bought games like physically, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just well, especially if I go back.
I have to confess. So I said that I only had, for the longest time, I only had GTA 5 physical copy on the PC. But as you know, I found my Fallout New Vegas physical copy, which I don't even have a system that plays it because my Xbox Series S doesn't have a disc drive, so I can't even play it if I wanted to. Actually, no, that's not true. I still have an Xbox One stored away, so technically, if I wanted to dust that off, I could play it. But that's neither here nor there. I opened up a drawer in my when I was moving my studio around.
A drawer?
I opened it up, and inside of it, I had 2 Wiis and a bunch of Wii games that I don't even know how they got in there. I had controllers, and so technically I own a ton of Wii games, which I never even knew existed in my house.
Are they like the Wii system? Is it the GameCube version where you can play the game?
Yes. Yes, okay. It's the one where you open the hatch at the top and it has a game. Yes.
Yeah.
I own both. I have the same one twice. I don't know why I have 2. Don't ask. But I have 2. I have a light bar. I have the whole set. I probably will never hook that thing up. But it's nice to know I have. Mainly because I can't get the games for cheap. GameCube games right now are extremely expensive. And
even when I go to retro stores, they're actually very hard to find.
It's easier just to download a ROM and play it online. It's just these days. I would never, but I do think it's funny that I had all these games just stored away in my bureau that when I was moving it, and I was just like, why is it so heavy? So I open it up and I'm like, what the hell is all this?
Yeah, it's weird how like you'll find stuff that you don't even, maybe you forgot about it. It's been so long and shit like that.
I have a theory that my mother, when she gave me the drawer, she was just trying to like get rid of it. Like it was probably my old one. And then I had a new one. So when she moved from her new house and she gave me it, it was on a push cart. And I didn't realize how heavy it was. And I just dumped it onto the porch. And when I went to go set up my studio, I needed to move it. And that's when I noticed. I have a theory that it's always been there. It just, I never even bothered to open it because as far as I knew, it was completely empty. And then when I filled it with stuff, I didn't open the bottom one. I opened only the top 3, and I never needed to fill the bottom one. As far as I knew, the bottom one was completely empty. So I was going through top, 3rd, 4th, and then I got to the 4th one, and I opened it, and I was like, what? So, like, I knew everything else, I had wires and microphone, XLR cables, all that stuff. That's where I kept all my my streaming stuff was in there. I opened that drawer, and I was like, wow, that's weird. But yeah, so back to games. I do think that in the future, physical copy games probably will die, mainly because Alan Wake 2 never came out with a physical release.
Yeah.
And I just see, and it sold fine. It was the Game of the Year nominee. Starfield, I didn't see a physical release in the stores for Starfield. I know they had a collector's edition that was released, but I didn't see a standard edition that was released physically.
Shit, some of these collector's editions don't even come with a goddamn game.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that.
It's like, okay, how's a collector's edition if it doesn't come with a guy? Like,
so then technically it's not even a physical release.
Yeah, it doesn't even come with a fucking okay. If it comes with a code, that's one thing. Because I've seen certain games come with just a code or whatnot. Like when I got my PS5, I got the God of War Ragnarok edition. All right, that came with fucking God of War. It didn't come with the fucking disc or the case. It came with fucking just a code for God of War Ragnarok. And I know most nowadays most systems do that. Like I'm sure, like I know they have the PS5, Spider-Man 2 combo set. That is probably going to be coming with a digital code. So if anybody was looking forward to getting the game physically, probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah, the more the next system that comes out, I know this is going to shock people, but I don't believe it's going to have a disk drive. I don't believe it.
Like for me, okay, for my example, the only reason why I even have a disk drive is for my movies because I use it as a multi.
Yeah, but they're going to do what PlayStation 5 just did. I think PlayStation 5 kind of gave you a sneak preview. They'll sell the disc. Yes.
If they do that, you know, even if the original model is diskless, but do you have the option for the detachable disk drive? That to me is at least something.
Yeah, I think they will.
I'm still somebody who's trying to who is fight even if the ship is sinking and all that. I'm the person that's still trying to keep physical media or keeping the fight with.
But even if Sony doesn't release it, I could see a third party releasing it. You know what I mean? Like I could see I could see PlayStation and Microsoft approving that because they don't want to invest in it. So they might be like, yeah, fine, make a disk drive.
Because that's always been the benefit of these systems is that they have.
Well, PCs don't come with disk drives anymore.
Huh?
New PCs don't come with disk. If you buy a gaming PC, there's no disk drive. I'd say more than half of the gaming PCs that are on sale right now don't have disk drive. You need to add it. It's not standard.
Adam said, I saw a physical copy of Starfield Standard. ITB says, if it does the eyes, the consoles is mini PC now without Windows. The day gaming goes all digital is the day I'm done buying games. Well,
yeah, you can't buy games if everything goes. Well, I guess I don't know. I do think I mean, that's clearly where we're headed. No, the Xbox Series S sold tremendously, so that encourages Microsoft to continue that trend.
See, and that is going to be the main issue, though, is that like not everybody is going to have the internet capabilities that some of us do. Not everybody lives in, like, of course, I live in a city, so you know, and I'm not like, you know, I'm near certain places that probably need electricity, power, and internet and shit like that. So you know,
yeah. So then, how do they play? They must not be PC gamers then.
Oh, well, I was gonna say like you know, like, but if you're talking like a fucking someone in the boonies. You know, no disrespect to anybody in the boonies. I love to be in the boonies myself, but with the internet possibly being sucky, you know, I'm gonna be on. Well, first I get my internet now for free, but beforehand I was paying less than $100 my internet because it got the job done. I can stream my fucking Grand Theft Auto, like or whatever, and it looks good. You know, like I would say if I had a newer computer, because this computer I've had since 2020. I think it would do better if I had a computer, but basically use this computer till it dies. But in terms of everything, like, you know, like that's gonna be where it sucks is for those people who maybe don't have the best capabilities of internet and shit because of the whole digital aspect of things.
We're not even. I mean, honestly, it's not gonna be till like 2028. 2027 at the earliest where I think we'll see the next system. So there's quite a few years in internet technology advancing. But like I can see, listen, I'm not all for all digital either personally, but I just look at how the trends and it's just, and I've been around long enough to know that people think they have power, but they really don't when society keeps moving. Like, and by that I mean a huge group of people that are against something don't look like a huge group in 5 years because more people get accustomed. For example, in 2013, Xbox announced an always online format. they got like so much hate for it. The Xbox One was like got a huge amount of hate. In fact, it might have even killed them, and it made PS4 what it was so successful. But anyway, nowadays, if Xbox came out and said this is an all online format, because technically it is, we can pretend it isn't, but it is, because all of our saved files are synced online, and sometimes it doesn't save to your hard drive. So if you go to play a game and you're not online, I sometimes get told this. You don't have rights to this game. This is on Xbox. But they say, you don't have rights to this game. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't have rights to this game? Oh, my internet's out. Let me reconnect my internet.
See, and that's the scare that like for me, that is why, like, in terms of physical media for movies or whatnot, that is why I'm so against that digital era, because they could do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
Like that, like so like okay, like some of you may have known about that whole Sony situation recently. Young talked about where some physical, like people who own certain movies from Sony that were, I think, Discovery or something, or whatever the distributor was, you will lose access to those movies. So basically, all the money you spend on those fucking movies, kaput. But also, and I've said this too, most movies that you watch on your TV are streamed, even if you own a digital copy of it. The best, and it's always, right now at least, even with the best internet, and I've talked to people who have very good internet, who have, can stream games in 4K with no issues and no drops or anything like that. Watching a movie on a 4K disc, a 4K Blu-ray disc, compared to watching it on the fucking digital version streaming, whether it's HBO or Disney.
Wouldn't you download it though? Like, so if let's say we live in a world where I couldn't get a 4K release, would I at least be able to download it?
I know on certain things, like on your phones, you can, and maybe tablets, but I don't know if, like, let's say you do it on a TV or something like that. Because I would personally, if that's the option, then that could be something. Because again, I want something where, like, for example, I'm really interested in seeing how this looks on fucking the Dragon Ball Z movie looks on 4K. But if let's say this was streaming on Crunchyroll on 4K.
I understand why they are reluctant on letting people download, because they're afraid of piracy. I completely get it.
Yeah. But like,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, like, but here's the other thing that irks me about like the day and age we're in. Okay. So if a movie comes out, even if it's like 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years old, and somebody gets offended by it, they could take either the scene, if you own a digital copy or a digital scene of that movie, and they could alter it to remove that scene to satisfy the little fucking pansies out there who are offended by a scene from fucking 40 years ago when times are fucking different. And plus, probably their mommy and daddy weren't even fucking even out of their own mommy and daddy's womb. Like fucking, but if you own the movie on Blu-ray or DVD or even VHS, you don't never have to worry about that movie being altered. But if you own it digitally, I think it's called The French Connection. I think the movie that came out, I think it was with Gene Hackman. That movie got recently altered because there was a racist scene in the movie and someone got offended by it. I hate that the rewriting and the whitewashing or just washing of history from films, because you're fucking sizzle. Fuck your feelings. Go cry about it on Twitter and maybe do something, make a movie that suits your needs.
I wonder what a world would look like if people stopped catering in general. Like, what if they just stopped?
We have gotten so fucking sensitive. Like, again, it's like.
I mean, honestly, this is not. I have no, like, this ain't even a say on how sensitive people are for me. What if we just stopped? Like, if a developer did something and he had got blowback and just stopped, because as far as I can tell, when people start to complain, the party that they're complaining about gets more attention. So I'm just a little confused as to how it hurts people. Like nobody ever stops. We know this. Trust me, we're on YouTube. We understand. As much as people say they're not going to watch something, they watch it anyway. And when there's more controversy around it, they watch it more than once.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand.
I've said this, about like I said earlier in the day. I remember when I think Dan and I were doing Exiled Outcast, and we took the show in a different direction, kind of midway, and it did good and all that. But I remember when we were talking about at the beginning, we took a week off. From doing the show, and I was getting people saying, "Hey, where's the show?" and all that. And at the beginning, I felt bad. Then I came to realize, I'm like, why in the fuck do I feel bad? You're not paying me. I'm not getting paid by you. Like, I appreciate you watching me. Like, I'm not gonna fucking deny that. But I don't owe you a fucking damn thing. If I wanna take off, I don't need to fucking tell you I'm taking off. I don't need to get your approval and to cater to kind of the circle it back to that point, or to cater to you to get your fucking approval. And also,
well,
like I said,
I want to make I'll make a comment on that because I partly agree with that statement. I do agree that you don't have to trust. I do understand that, but as a common courtesy, from my perspective, people do. If you're a consistent streamer, maybe more consistent than me or you, but if you're just a consistent streamer that streams all the time, but maybe doesn't make money, but you stream every day and your same days off, always, blah, blah, blah. I do believe that you owe it to the people that build their day around enjoying something with you, because it's not, yes, you provide the entertainment, but they're there with you. And if you've done it, not you personally, but the creator, if you've done it long enough, you've kind of built an expectation. Yes, your expectation, I mean, it's not up to you to always fulfill that expectation. And again, this isn't you, this is me. I feel like I personally at least owe the reason as to why that expectation will not be met. Where I try to keep people updated, like, I'm not gonna be able to do it, I'm busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But like at the end of the day, I do feel like even though I may not be getting paid, even though on Twitch I did get paid, and I did feel bad in that sense, but at the end of the day, I try to stay transparent, because as a content creator, it's your responsibility to keep everybody in the loop, especially if you want to maintain the same viewership. Because if you go back and say, well, I don't owe it to anybody, to say, you don't owe it to everybody is a better way to say it. I mean, because there are people that you don't owe it to, the people that hate watchers, people that just watch you to hate you. You don't owe it to them, because if they're not watching you, they're still hating on you. So whether you're streaming or not streaming, they're probably still hating on you. So of course you don't owe anything to them.
Oh yeah,
but you do owe it to the people that support you or advocate for you, or go out of their way to make time to show support. That again is my perspective, though. I don't know what led you to your perspective. All I can do is share mine.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the fact that, like I still, like, one thing I will appreciate, I get people who I have people watch me at fucking around this time, and I have people who watch me at fucking 2 a.m. So it's kind of like, that's why I'm a little more. I don't like to set. I like if I'm planning, like if I know I have a deal, my schedule's been so bipolar as of late, where I can't really tell anybody, hey, I'm going.
Let me. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me paint a picture for you, because you work with the public, so this analogy will make perfect sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put this in an analogy that you can understand, and maybe some of the viewers that you have can understand. As a streamer, you own the convenience store or the movie theater. You own it. This is yours. The people viewing are customers. You're never going to satisfy all your customers. But do you bitch out your customer? You smile and move on. Do they get banned from your store? Usually not. So when that customer comes in, you're saying to yourself, here we go again. Here comes the local drunk. But what do? You stay professional. You give him what he wants, or sometimes you tell him he can't have that because we're not selling that, whatever. You deal with him professionally.
Oh, so I was gonna say I chased some woman out with a baseball bat today just because she was like I wasn't gonna have her be at the place for 45 fucking minutes like she was the day before.
Again, though, that's not at that point. If she's in there for 45 minutes, you don't get paid to be a security guard.
Yeah, I know, like no bullshit. Like my coworker was telling me about what happened the night before I was off. So I'm like, oh, I'm not dealing with this for fuck, especially when I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. I think I still have like 2 hours left. So I just said, all right, hurry up. And then I went fucking ape shit. I'm like custom milkshakes. I fucking, I literally fucking went ape shit on the person. I was like, I'm sorry. What? I was being a dick. I'm sorry. What's your name? I said, you're right. I've not been polite to you. I've been mean. Let's see. What's your name? And she's like, Tina. I'm like, okay, Tina. Nice to meet you. Get the fuck off my property.
I thought you were going to say, it doesn't matter what your name is.
No, later on, because she was trying to say, I have lung issues. And I'm like, that's not my problem. But later on, when I know she was smoking, I said, okay, get the fuck off I started yelling, raising my voice. I'm like, I've been giving you chance after chance. I'm fucking like done with you. You're fucking like your lung thing is a fucking excuse and all that. But like my point is, she's gonna come back. Yeah. Oh, and I told her when she finally walked away. I was like, don't come back.
She probably will. So my point is, as a streamer, you provide a product.
Yeah.
You provide a product, and everyone viewing is a customer, or not. And I hate to look at it, and it's not saying a paying customer. They're buying your content, as in they're consuming it. And I know I've heard people in the past say, oh, "I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that perspective. He looks at it like it's a business and da 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 da." No, that's not what I'm saying at all. And if somebody can't understand, I think I've said this before in a stream. If somebody can't understand an analogy, I can't help you. I can't.
Yeah.
But you are consuming content, and you're paying with your retention. You're paying with your retention. You're not paying with physical bucks, but your retention is paid to the streamer, because your retention, based on how long you watch the video, is all that YouTube cares about in terms of making you a sponsor or giving you a partnership. So yes, you are undoubtedly a customer. And we get paid in retention. And you, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't change the way I appreciate somebody. It doesn't change the way I treat them. I'm just strictly looking at it from a business perspective. I need to maintain professionalism, because if I expect professionalism, I need to give off professionalism. And sometimes you do have to be mad.
Like, for example, why do you think I took Tom's advice, I'll openly say it, and moved anything that would be considered trying to get the praise for it. Not what this channel stands for.
Yeah, anything that people that go to your channel for game review. You said it better in the way in your message, but I can't find it. But as far as I can remember you saying was anything that can be that takes away from the meaning of your channel.
The foundation of this channel. I moved it elsewhere, but
some would argue that, oh well, you always talked about drama on this channel. I mean, yes. I mean, but like now you don't. So like yes, but no. Like yeah. People love to talk about. People talk.
Period. There's going to be bumps in the road. Let's be honest.
People like to talk past like it's current. Like I don't know where that comes from, but people love to say, "Well, you did it 2 years ago, or you did it 3 months ago," and they act like it's happening at the moment. Oh well, sorry. Like, what are you going to do to that? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, and also to add to that is like I openly have told people. Don't go subscribe to that channel. If you want to go and fucking, because you're not going to see.
Yeah, because I personally don't plan on watching content on that channel because that's not that's not why I watch what you do. I don't. But again, as I told you, do what you want to do. Nobody can dictate what you do. And I understand that you have some people saying, well, that might cause bigger issues.
Yeah.
It's only a bigger issue if you don't know how to handle yourself. Like that's only when it becomes a bigger issue if you lose control.
If I ever need to feel like I need to address something that has nothing to do with this channel, like or whatnot, then I will do it on that channel. But like as of right now, that channel is going to go into probably a dead period where it's not going to, nothing's coming out of it. You'll see it if I need to comment on Jordan's video because fucking YouTube fucking doesn't let us comment or be in the chat together. So that's one thing. But as far as like actual content, you're not going to see anything for the foreseeable future just because it's only there to be like, well, Tom, I don't like that you fucking took my milk from my fridge and fucking poured it down the sink, you fucking piece of shit. Like that type of shit.
Well, and I think the more I've learned about this content creation, dealing with drama is a mix between knowing what to avoid and knowing what to address. Because
Tom, don't say that because then people are going to think we're talking about.
I'm talking about it. I'm talking about I work. Okay, I don't know who the hell you're talking about, but I work closely with people that literally have their internet being hacked by employees working with the ISP.
I have people who threaten to kill me at my job.
I'm not even talking about anybody you deal with. I'm straight up talking about other content creators.
We talk behind the scenes about that to an extent.
Yeah, like I'm talking about other content creators that deal with bigger issues than anything that I've been hearing about recently on your end. But the response is the same. I feel like it's a mix between knowing what to address and what not to address. Because if you don't address it, then people treat you like a punching bag, and they never get what's coming to them. But if you do address it in the wrong way, and you make it 10 times worse for yourself. So it just comes down to knowing what to address and what not to address. I personally am not going to make a public statement about anybody that I feel as though either number one, need mental help, and I'm not going to contribute to their downfall spiral, or number two, have no proof of anything. I'm not going to respond to that either. And I'm personally not going to respond to people that pretend to be my friend and then stab me in the back because the proof is within their actions, not so that to me. I would respond to something that is from a new person that doesn't know me, I might respond to that. But if it's the same old, why am I going to respond to that? Like I might as well just jump off a bridge.
It's like
if I'm going to go down that route.
I said this to somebody. Basically, I do not want to be a part of your misery, and all that. Like, you could enjoy it on your lonesome. I'm going to do me. And if you don't like it, well, tough shit. Like I always tell people, even I like everybody who watches me. I love the people who watch me because they enjoy it. I even love the hate watchers because it defeats the purpose of them doing it.
Well, hate watchers tend to give you higher retention than real watchers, which is nuts, but true.
Yeah.
So in a sense,
it's crazy if you think about that because like you're sitting there watching somebody for sometimes like I'll be honest, I've listened to some people I don't like because I need a laugh. There are other times like okay, there's a critic that I listen to, Cody Leach. He's a great YouTuber, all that, but me and him disagree a lot on our opinions. But I like listening to him because I like hearing a different point of view. So I like going in and watching so that I probably am not going to agree with his opinion of said movie or said show or whatever, but I love to hear his thoughts on it. I don't want just to hear the same person just saying the same thing I would say about a movie, game, what have you. That's like with games, movies, games, or whatever. I will go with multiple reviewers, not just one particular. I'll have my main favorite, but that's beyond the point,
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead.
So how I look at it as a whole is knowing when to respond and when not is like the primary key. And then also understanding where people are coming from that are trying to expose or belittle, or just like understanding that. Because if they're coming from people can't just react on anger. Like, that's stupid. You got to really look at the person as a whole and see what is going on in their life, to see like, oh, maybe there's a legit reason why they're doing that. And maybe it has nothing to do with you, but there's actually a reason. And maybe it's worthy of a DM to be like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? It's just up to you to figure out, the streamer, not you personally, but it's up to them to figure out it. And that can be the downfall of people. Some people just don't know how to manage drama on their channel, and that could kill a channel. And there's nothing you can do about that. It comes down to, like I said, you're that store clerk and you run a shop and you have your customers. And if you don't know how to handle your shop, then you're going to go out of business.
And plus, like I said, it's like I want to take this channel into a different, like a similar direction to what it used to be, but without the negativity within it, you know, and all that. Plus, like I said, I got people, like actual people who actually don't know, like even people who don't know a lot of the people that, you know, about this stuff, like my old battle axe, you know, we've doesn't know about some of these people. She knows about some people, which we actually have a funny video that we're maybe.
So I'll be honest. Most of your audience doesn't know about any of these people, and they'll argue and say that, oh yeah, they do. How can they not? They don't, because the majority of your shorts that get like thousands of views, are just random people that literally have no idea who the hell you are beyond the shorts that you do.
Oh yeah. Like my shorts have been one of the main focal points of this channel as of late, and like I said, I like a lot of them are just taken from my TikTok or just like showing off some blue.
And that's another thing. Your TikTok. None of your TikTok viewers probably have any idea. I'd say the vast majority of your viewership have no idea. So, and like I said to you privately, when you're catering to that, you're only hurting yourself, because people, from my experience, when you disconnect people, they disconnect the stream. They want to feel a group. They want to feel this group aura. They want to feel like it's a big thing, so people stay watching because they feel like if they miss it. When you all of a sudden sidetrack into side topics that are amongst maybe a handful of people, then the people that feel like they're alienated from that conversation, they're just going to leave. They're going to be like, okay, well, I don't know anything they're talking about. I'm going to go watch something that I actually know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
well, big boy, like, yeah, that used to be me on TikTok too, but sometimes I'll be honest, my shorts get way more viewership here than it does on TikTok. Like TikTok, I have a pretty typical like quota, if you will, in terms of what I'm usually getting in terms of viewers.
So shorts, I've noticed this within the last few years. Short viewers, people that watch shorts, rarely watch YouTube videos. People that watch YouTube videos rarely watch shorts. It's almost like those two don't ever meet. You might, I do. I mean, I'm talking about on YouTube, YouTube shorts. People that watch videos on YouTube usually will use TikTok, or they'll use like shorts for like a few minutes to kill. Like they're not addicted to it. But like people that are addicted to shorts don't really watch YouTube videos. They're not. That's not what they do. They watch shorts because they're short, and YouTube videos are far too long.
Yeah, see, I saw this deal where I get in the rabbit hole of watching some shorts, and then other times I'll get into some.
But that's on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm talking about TikTok. TikTok viewer. Most people that watch shorts on TikTok don't really jump over to YouTube. Just like most people that watch streamers on Twitch usually spend more time, unless there's a specific person that they watch on Twitch. But if they're just Twitch surfing, they usually don't watch streams on YouTube. It's a weird thing that I've noticed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like fucking, you know, with all this going on, you know, it's like it's just, and even with the TikTok stuff too. I'm gonna say I did a short of me in the wrestling ring, got 3,000 views in a 24-hour period on Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was one where you messed.
Wrestling shorts give you like mega views. Like if you ever had a wrestling event, just do as many shorts as you can because they're guaranteed 2K.
I did a few. Well, hell, that Seth Rollins reaction of CM Punk that got like 6,000 on my.
You want to get an easy 100K for your channel? Next event you go to, just do like 100 shorts. The entire show.
I'll be at the Frost Bank. I'll be going to see fucking. I'll be third from the fucking stage. So like that'll be some good shots right there and all that. That could just as long as the internet connection's good, because sometimes it's a bitch to upload while you're in the building. Sometimes you got to do it.
Wrestling's harder than ever right now. I mean, if you don't believe me, just look at the views it gets on YouTube.
Yeah. That's like when idiots out there say that, oh, you're like just because you talk about wrestling, you're part of YWC, and I'm like, and personally, I've always said this: the YWC has died years ago. I'm just a fucking wrestling fan who likes to talk about it on YouTube. I am not labeled.
The YWC is dead.
Yeah.
Why do you think all of these classic YWC members disassociated themselves from the YWC? And I'm not talking about small names. I'm talking about like the Solomonster Sounds Off and the Tony Kevin Castle show.
I never hear shit. I haven't listened to Don, Tony, and Kevin because like I was listening to Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle, and then TV Tracks, which was a YouTube channel at the time that I was showing clips. That's how I found Solomonster. And then I found my main person in terms of listening to people.
JD from New York.
JD. Yeah,
these guys disassociated themselves from the YWC for a reason because
I know a lot of people hate JD, but let's be honest here. I used to hear all the shit, but like listening to him, I actually like JD.
JD makes a lot of good points. My only issue with JD is sometimes he goes a little overboard. Like I guess a few weeks ago, he was crying that the CM Punk promo wasn't good. And then he always like goes completely opposite direction. Like the sky is falling. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're all cool. He finally did the promo on SmackDown.
I knew his vibe got cut, or I knew something had to happen because that was too condescending. Like that was too nice.
The problem with JD is the sky is either always falling or it's the greatest thing he's ever seen. There's no in the middle.
It's like, but a lot of the big people, because let's be honest here, a lot of the small, and even like some people that would be considered OGs of the YWC, they're gone. They're retired. They're gone. They're fucking, or some are dead. It's like fuck these like a lot of these people have moved on to either green or.
We were never a part of the YWC. We got lumped into it when we did the Outcast. For some reason, people started associating us with the YWC.
Because let's be honest here, the YW I always joked. I admit like the days of Google Hangouts were fucking like I don't even know if our show would have fucking lasted. We were doing Google Hangouts back then because
we would have used Skype. We wouldn't have used Google Hangouts on.
Yeah,
I did streaming back, but when Google Hangouts was a thing, and I did Skype. I didn't. Google Hangouts is a mess. Might as well just
like in some streams from Google Hangouts, this is how discombobulated. Like you don't think StreamYard makes everything discombobulated? Fucking Google Hangouts, from what I saw, was fucking awful.
Yeah, that's not. You can't control Google Hangouts. We would have used Skype, and we would have took calls, and we would have accepted them over Skype, and that would have been how we ran the show. I can't imagine we'd have a platform where anybody could join. Maybe Google Hangouts would be a segment where we open up the shit bowl and we let people just plop in. Yeah. But I don't think it would have been the core of the show.
Because at least with the whole StreamYard, at least you have the option of fucking checking to make sure the account is legit. Where you can and all that. Like I knew it was fucking you coming in because again I sent you to fucking privately. Unless you fucking send it to some other person and hey, go into Cyprus, fucking to prank me or something. I knew you were gonna it was gonna be here, but if I put the link out in the fucking chat, I always check because there's a beauty in it. Or if you feel like someone's going to show that, themselves, you can literally just put them backstage when you sense something like that's going to happen. But like back then, you couldn't do that.
Well, I was thinking we're streaming for an hour and a half, so I think we could get into something that I'm curious on. Like, we really hadn't had a chance to talk about it. Talking about it public, it would probably be the best course, because then maybe we'll hear responses from people behind the scenes or maybe in the chat. So, like, if we were to do a show, which we had talked about, Tuesday show, which would basically be whatever name. We really haven't sat on a name yet. I think originally I was like Tuesday Night Talk or whatever, or Let's Talk on Tuesday. It could be anything. I wanted it to be like I wanted the name to just be kind of like not over the top, because at the end of the day, the show is just talking, kind of like what we did here today.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know if you had any ideas in regards to what you wanted to do, because it's not going to be a ridiculous concept. It's actually a pretty simple concept.
Yeah, and plus even night times nowadays, my schedule is very limited, and sometimes even there's a possibility I can't depending on what's going on.
That's why I had suggested that we make a YouTube channel, and you're in control of the shorts, and I'm in control of the live streams. You can even do on-demand video on it. I don't care. But I would basically control the live streams, which means that I would have the stream key, and I would put it to OBS.
Yeah,
and I would.
I can't. If I need to leave, you don't. If you want the stream to go for 4 hours, but you're only available after 7, then you could do that without the worry about me not being there. And
yes. Or some days you might not have work and you could stay longer. It's almost like, that's kind of like what I was thinking. Like I would, and plus, I have my OBS is I have more add-ons because over the years I've figured things out a little better. So I'm able to work with different little mods and stuff, so I can make the stream look professional to a degree. And my goal really is to get it to be a conversation, but I still want to allow people to join as a segment. But I don't want to allow, and again, I'm just saying what I think, and I want to hear your thoughts. I don't want to allow a ton of people on. I think that one person at a time, maybe 2, if it's obviously something that makes sense. Like if we're talking about a particular moment and there's like 4 people in the chat, they're like, well, we want to talk about this particular moment.
And they have like good conversation regarding that topic. Yeah. Like I can see that.
That's another thing. Like that's glad you said that. Allowing people that know how to articulate themselves come on the panel. And that's not a jab at anybody in particular. It's just that there's a certain degree of quality that we want the show to achieve.
I'm going to say this without being, and I'm going to sound like a dick here, but if you are just going on a stream to fucking sit there and not say a goddamn word, I don't want you on my fucking, because you're taking a spot from somebody else that may want to talk or provide something for the channel. Again, as I've always said this, being on this panel, whether it's my panel, Tom's panel, whatever, is a privilege, not a goddamn right. And people sometimes don't understand that. Either you are fucking just not saying anything, you're saying very little, you're breathing heavy, whatever. The fact remains is, like, it's something I've always wanted to say for a while, just kind of be a little raw with that, no pun intended. Where it's annoyed me that I'll be listening to a stream. Let's say there's 4 people in there.
And you won't even know that there was 5. But let's say there's 4 people.
And then I'll just be hearing nothing, or I'll be and I'm like thinking, okay, this stream is getting annoying now because it's dead silence and you're heavy breathing. Are you okay, man? Are you about to die? Do we need to call an ambulance on you? And like, why the fuck are you there if you're not going to say anything?
All right, so let me translate that into a less offensive way to say it, because that is
I want to be offensive.
I totally understand what you're saying, but not in all those words. I think that I understand why people want to come on a stream, because they feel like they have something to say, and then they get on the stream and either A, they're a little shy, they don't know how to say it, or they're waiting for an opportunity to say it and they just don't want to interrupt because it'd be rude. I can understand why some people would be apprehensive to say something. Trust me.
I'll give you that.
I've been there where I'll join a panel and I won't say much because either it's my first time, I don't know the people, I don't know when it's appropriate to talk, and I don't want to say too much and become the show. So I can completely understand why somebody would not say much. Now, that being said, when it's up to the host to address them. So like if we need to recognize that this person is struggling to get a word in, and we need to be like, so what do you think about what brings you here tonight? And then we kind of force a conversation out of them.
Yeah,
and then it's up to us to decide when it's their time to go. Because at the end of the day, it's up to us to run a quality program. We also decide if they come on or not in the first place. Let's say they were on and we gave them an opportunity to speak and they didn't really say anything of importance, or they just said something to say something, but they're a good person. So we're not going to sit there and be like, well, fuck you and kick them out. We're not doing that, but we'll just be like, oh, well, thanks for coming on tonight. And it's up to us to know when to cut the cord, and we'll let them on again. Eventually they'll become more comfortable and they'll start to learn the format of the show. And then maybe they'll become better as a on-air performer because of how we're treating or running the panel. And that falls on us. That's what I mean when I say making sure you come on, not just for them, but for us. It's up to us to get the best out of our guests. Now, if somebody comes on and they're an asshole and they just interrupt people and they talk over people and they're flipping people off or they're like literally mooning people, like if they do all that stuff, then it's almost like, all right, well, you're never coming back, and they'll be banned from the channel. Not talking isn't really where my issues arise. It's my issues arise when they're causing a ruckus. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, that too. It's like it's like, or like again, when you have a lot to say when in regards to negative topics.
Okay, so that's a whole other issue. If we know before we even bring them in that there's somebody who has a history of derailment, then we're not bringing them in.
Or even,
obviously,
even the fact that when it's negative content, they have plenty to say, but when it's something that's supposed to be positive, to shoot the shit or whatnot, you barely have anything to say, and all that. That's like that was something else when
I don't know. It sounds like you're referring to somebody. I have no clue who you're referring to, but I'll just say
I've seen people like that where they will have more to say when it's negative, but then when it's positive,
there are a lot of people that do that, but honestly, we can't know anyone that's going to do that. Like you might have the people that but we could have a new viewer that's like that. We never met them before.
Yeah, like a new viewer that comes in is going to be different. It's going to be a gamble we're going to have to take.
Yes,
and hope for the best. We I would pretty much. I think Tommy would be in agreement. We pretty much know who, like, of people that we do know. There's people that we don't know come in, but like in terms of people we do know.
There's certain people that I talk to that you might have problems with that I would argue let them come on the panel, or maybe there's people that me and Jordan both have no issues with that you have an issue with, or maybe there's somebody that you have no issues with and Jordan and I have issues with. Regardless of that scenario, I still think that giving them an opportunity to prove that they can be respectful on a panel is appropriate. And if they can't be, we still need to maintain a level of professionalism to be like, okay, well, you're gonna have to try again another time because this isn't what the show's about.
My response would always be, do they bring something to the table that like, if let's say I have an issue with them, I would basically say, do they bring something to the table to where it, like, I'm willing to work with this person? Because if they don't, I'm not gonna work with this. That's just how I would look at it. Because,
and out of respect, there would probably be certain people where we would have to discuss if they can come on or not.
And then there would be certain people that I'd just be like, I don't care how irritated or whatever they are, I'm just not going to. Because again, Yeah, our payment, if you will, is the people
Well,
watching.
the Outcast was, let's be honest, the Outcast was a different program, and we
Yeah.
welcomed that type of personalities. But
Well,
this,
yeah. Back then we'd be like, "Oh, you would come in if I hate your guts, because I'm gonna verbally bitch slap you across the thing." But like here, it's going to be like somewhere we're just going to have discuss like that, like what we're talking like right
yes, it
now.
would be a more in tone with the direction that YouTube's heading anyway, really, and it would be. But again, it's the talk show is only half of the, not even half. I'd say less than half of the success of the show. The success is going to fall in promoting, which means that all of us need to promote it. All of us, you, me, Jordan, or David, or
well,
well, no, there's people in talks. It could be, we don't know yet. I'm trying. I'll be honest here. I'm trying to get Jordan to do it, but that's not really, honestly, I don't know if that's going to happen because I haven't heard anything on his side that tells me that he's all in, besides one comment. So I don't know exactly if he's committed fully to it yet. So I don't want to say it's definitely him. It might just be me and Chayton at the end of the day. But the point is, there are certain people that I've reached out to help us with this. But regardless of that being, any of that being said, my main goal is to, I'd say about 30% of it is one on the program. The other bit of it is promoting it, which means that you and I and whoever else is involved promotes it correctly. Like, we have to spend an hour or two a day, not a day, but a week, I guess is a better way to put it, and send this link to people in forums and discords that are related where it's allowed, and promote it, push it, because nowadays you're not going to get viewership just by posting a video and sitting back and saying, there it is. No, you need to do some work, and you have to try to push for viewers.
Especially if it's going to be on a separate channel that basically has to start from the bottom.
Yes, you know? So we have to be able to put boots to the ground, go door to door, so to speak, and try to promote our way to some viewers. That's the only way we're going to do it. And it's not going to be easy, and it may take a year or two, but if we're serious about it, we need to be able to hit the lows to get the highs. Also, the VR community, which it's been a while since I've been in it, but when I was in it, I was pretty popular. It's a small community, a few thousand people that play VR. And I was pretty popular amongst that group. So I did have a lot of, this is according to people that watched me. I never looked at myself like that, but apparently I was one of the more known people in that community, just because I'm a loud person and I always would try to put on entertaining shows. And I ran 2 shows, and I had my own talk show, which I was working on, which were pretty successful in and of itself. But my point is, I want to use VR as a segment in our show. I don't even have to show me in VR. I don't care about that. I could still show my face, but I want to take conversations. I don't forget the VR for a second. I'm having conversations with people that totally clueless about any of the bullshit that goes on in the chats in the community. They're just separate from that. And I'm going to places to talk to people. It doesn't matter if it's VR or not. No one you listening to the program is going to know that. I'm telling it right now because that's unfortunately how the best avenue I can think to reach random people to talk about certain topics. For example, doxing was a great topic that I think you had a stream on it. Yeah. But I had said to you, this should be broader. This should be a bigger topic that reaches more people. This should be a topic where you're interviewing people. And some say, well, how do you get interviews? Well, my answer to that is I'll go on fucking VR and just go into a room with 100-something people and start going up to people randomly and asking what do they think about doxing live on the internet, and just start walking around interviewing people. And I used to get some amazing conversations, some ridiculous conversations, but I'd always get, VR was such a melting pot of people that had all different ways and walks of life. And I just always got interesting answers from it. It's the only platform where I never knew what I was going to get talking to people. And for the most part, and this is my opinion on VR, I got the realest form of a person because they're expressing themselves in their avatar, and they're admitting no fault, or fault, whatever. They're just raw form of a human being that is maybe hiding behind an avatar, but they're able to be themselves because maybe their life is just so miserable that all they have is to hide from it. But they're able to be themselves. So I can ask them personal questions and they'll give me the rawest answer because they're not afraid what anyone thinks about it. And I got that from people in VR all the time. Some of the best interviews I've ever done with people was in VR. And I was like, I love this. So I want to take that interview style and drop it in our show and drop the VR. Nobody even needs to know on the internet that we're in VR. But like, I just feel like that is going to, no one else does that on the internet. There's no other way to do that. Because if you go on the alternative is people used to go on Omegle on their live stream and they interview people. But everybody on Omegle is crazy. So they're not real people. They're just there to troll. 90% of them are just there to troll or make themselves feel better. Or females, no offense, and males too, are just there for affirmation. Like they're not actually there for any real conversation. They're there to just VR. I had the realest conversations. So I'm going to take that side of make that a part of the show and a segment where we talk and then I jump into VR while we're streaming and I pull interviews from people. So if the broad topic again would say it's doxing, that's not just something that you were dealing with recently. That's something that is huge on YouTube right now with the Jax Films incident going on. If we were to take the controversy and the current topic is so big right now and turn it into a program that speaks to everybody and then also go into VR while we're talking about it and start asking other people their thoughts on doxing on the internet and how they look at it, it creates a program that lasts bigger than just a brief hour-long video that only sits with a few handful of people. It's a bigger topic that starts involving all walks of life and different people with different opinions. So now the viewer goes back to it. They can go back to it tomorrow, next week, a year from now. They can just constantly go, wow, this was like a good sample size of 2023's idea of doxing. We create that. And that's the goal of every episode for me. I guess that is in essence what the show's about.
Yeah, and that's like something like, we've like I've been doing with certain things like for example, like I think next year we're going some people are going to come back to Exiled Outcasts more often due to what's going to be going on in the world. We got the AI thing going on.
Yeah, great. So right. Let's think of that topic. That's a whole show in and of itself.
Yeah. And then we talked about Donald Trump. Me and Dan talked about Donald Trump. We're going like I said.
So sorry to interrupt, but so if people ask, well, what will your show bring that no other show can bring? My goal in the show is to get as many new people talking every episode that you've never heard before. That's my goal. We'll talk for the first hour or whatever together, but my goal that what we can offer that no one else can offer, where else can you listen to 45 different people with different opinions about something that literally have nothing in common with each other in one program every week? Nowhere can you ever, because everything's contrived and detailed and thought of in the moment. Let's have a stream and just us two. I want this to be a bigger conversational piece. I would love to have reoccurring people, because here's what I've noticed, and this is just me being in VR and noticing this. It starts to snowball. So when I did my show, it was just me and another person. And then we started going around certain areas and talking to people, and then they wanted to talk to me more. And then I started slowly building this group of followers that wanted to be a part of what I was doing. But I was also adding new people constantly, because my goal of what I did online was to constantly bring new people in. That was literally the goal. So there'd be times where I'd go private just to find new people. So I'm always finding new people on purpose, because my main focus was to find new people. Yes, it's cool to get older people to keep watching me or come along with me every once in a while. But my goal was to always find new people. The more people I find, the more chances I give people, the more I find that I have in common with people. So then they start tacking on to me. So before I know it, I become this ball of glue that has tons of people stuck to it because I'm talking to like 100, 150, 200 people a day. So of course, some of them are going to have something in common with me and they're going to keep following me. So you times that by like a month and a half, all of a sudden my friends list has 700 people and we all have something in common and they remember me and I don't remember them. That's how big it is. I still go in VR and people are like, hey, I remember you. And I'm like, I know. Go up to people every day. So my point is, we're going to have such a
wait. Oh, what the hell? Oh, we got. I didn't even know he was backstage. We got. Oh, he left.
Who is this?
So I was like, get back in here, boy.
But like, my point is, the show's going to snowball with some regulars that we've never had on streams before. And I can't tell you who they're going to be. I can just guarantee you right now that we're going to have new people constantly getting involved because that's the nature of talking to as many people as you can in one program.
Hello, George.
Oh, it's him. It's this guy.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
You're kind of sounding. I can hear you guys talk, but it sounds robotic. I don't know if it's just me.
That's your
it could
internet.
be my reception, or it's just yours.
My son.
You got to tighten your tinfoil hat just to get reception.
Is it just me, or is both you guys sounding roboto?
I'm fine.
Let's see.
I
was trying to highlight it.
What's that all about, dude? Like, come on.
Just kidding. I'm messing with you.
Hey, Mason. Was trying to highlight that comment, trying to get rid of it. Damn it, Sloppy. You had the comment right then and there. How are you doing? Jordan is your
asshole.
Hard for me.
You're an asshole.
I'm a dick. There's
Anyway.
a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
But no,
exactly. You're admitting what
let me
you are
double
both
check.
ways.
I want to check the audio, make sure we're not sounding robotic.
No, I think it's fine. Everyone in the chat's saying it's fine. It's Jordan.
Okay. Are we sounding robotic, everybody? Because I didn't hear it on my
Jordan
end.
got bit by a robotic bug.
Now you're not sounding robotic. It could have been just, some.
How long have you been listening to the program, Jordan?
I just got on here. I've been watching stuff and, making notes of stuff,
So I guess the question is, because I alluded to it earlier, Jordan, Chayton and I were talking about doing that show, the potential show. And you seemed interested, but I couldn't tell if you were fully committed to it. And I was wondering if, since we're talking about it, if you could elaborate on concerns or if you wanted to do it or if it wasn't even in the question.
I've got no issues with doing it. I'm all for it. The only concern I've got is, and Jay, you don't mind if I talk about this because we talked about this before privately.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, the one thing I'm more concerned about is what will happen if you're gone. Because the thing is, me and Jane were thinking, and we weren't talking trash, just to let you know. We were just, it's about concern for you, whether or not you'll be able to be here for this project. Because the last time that when we did a project, you had to go on hiatus because you had to do some real life stuff, for your son's football team and so on and so forth, which I can understand that. And then my mom was talking to me and, she made a lot of good points, you're a married man, you got wife, you got kids, and real life stuff going on. And, I kind of overlooked that part, but, I'm just worried, what will happen if you just, somehow go out of nowhere,
Well, the only assurances that I can make is this would be my only project going forward. That would be it. I may do a live stream on my main channel, but it wouldn't be like a focus. So as for me streaming, it would be completely on my end. It wouldn't require you guys to stream, as I told Shane. It would just be me streaming. Chayton would be in charge of shorts and videos, on-demand videos. I would be in charge of streaming. So if I can't stream, then there's no stream. If I can stream, then we stream. But the reason why you do videos and shorts is to maintain pumping out of new content. So because you guys have full access to the channel, not everything has to be live. You know what I mean? So if we wanted to put out a video, let's say I can't be on and we wanted to do something, or let's say Chayton has work and he can't be on at all, and we decide let's do a random video. Like the point wouldn't be consistency of show. The point would be consistency of content. I think that would be the main concern. Like, can we consistently pump content to keep people interested? As for the live show, I'd want it to be Tuesday, and I think it would be fine. The only concern would be when a football season would start, which would be in August, or if there's a practice that comes up. But again, it depends on the length of the show, and it depends on what we decide the time to work with. Like, anything after 8:30 Eastern is usually fine for me, given the days that I can do it. I think that the scheduling issue more so is Chayton, because we don't know his work schedule. That my main concern would be that, because he kind of limits our schedule on when we can do it. That would be my only worry.
Yeah, wow, Jordan, for once you could say you do bring in the views, because maybe because I'm about to cook. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Chayton's Kitchen. Anyway, what was I going to say?
You're welcome for the rating spike.
It's all of Jordan's alt accounts.
Yeah.
He logged into all of them. Just kidding.
My alt accounts. More like my alter ego.
But what was I saying, though? I'm trying to get this thing to fucking
They were
work.
saying that the scheduling with your work, and I think that would be the obstacle, because Tuesday always works for me. The problem was the other days don't work as well, is the best way to put it. When we were going to do that project before, I didn't, honestly, we didn't really seem interested in, everybody was doing a bunch of different things. And we never even got that off the ground.
Well, if I may, I mean, no offense, but I also have a thing on Tuesdays with the Popcorn Panel on David 3000's channel.
Yeah, well, then that's what I mean. Then maybe you can't be involved in it, because Tuesday might be the only day that Chayton can do it.
Then again, what time would you start? And then maybe I could consider it.
Well, that's up to, it would have to be after 7 Chayton's time.
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock Eastern.
Did you say
Anytime.
somewhere around 8 o'clock Eastern? Ah, shit.
That would be like when it would happen. And that's what I mean. Like, it kind of goes, because I think Tuesday was one of the only days that Chayton said he usually has off. So it kind of like made us have to be, it had to be Tuesday. I'm open for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we do R&R, so Thursday's not an option. Friday or Saturday I can do any of those 4 days.
It's Monday and
you said
Sunday. You
Wednesday,
can't do, right?
It's Monday and Sunday I can't do, but Thursday we do R&R, so Thursday would be out of the question.
Yeah.
But Monday and the only days
Wednesday, right?
The only days I can't do are Monday and Sunday.
You said something about Wednesday.
Wednesday I could do, but but Chayton would have to also be able to do it.
Yeah. And like I said, like if I, because I usually work nights, but there are times where I don't. But if I usually, like I said, I've been working nights, therefore I would only be available for that time period between 7 and 9. So, and it would be a hard stop for me at 9 because of that.
Yeah, which wouldn't be a big issue, because At that point, we'll
You
be
have
going
control
into
of the
V.
screen, then you'd be good. Then yeah.
We'd be doing the VR interviews, so we'd already have a ton of people talking at that point anyway, because that would be like later on in the show.
Mhm.
So you exiting would suck in terms of you not being on the show, but we wouldn't have a lack of content at that point. The only time we'd need you would be the beginning of and the middle, the bulk of the show. We'd need you, but we can get away with not having you by getting other people on. The only thing that sucks is you'd miss out on some of the most clippable moments. Because trust me, when we start doing interviews with random people, we will have a lot of clippable moments.
Yeah. And that'll be what makes, I guess, the days I'll be off those days special, you know?
Yeah, and the days you have off would be the days, like, for example, if you're not doing anything, your job would be to clip up the show, because I don't know anything about the stuff you use for clipping, but clip up the funny moments in the show and upload it as shorts. And I would be able to do it sometimes too, but for the most part, I'm going to look on refining the live show, making it look professional and trying to get VR to like the people in VR to sound like. There's some struggles I'm going to have to figure out in the first few episodes, but I do feel like it'll work out in the end. I don't want to mention VR though, because there's a lot of people hear VR and they instantly I don't know what it is, but they become detached from it. So that's why I'm completely leaving out the idea that we're using VR for these conversations. You know what I mean? I'm not even mentioning it. They can mention it that I'm interviewing. That's fine. But I'm not going to be like the VR interview segment. It's just going to be a segment where we pull questions, we pull people aside and start asking them about the topic of the show. That'll be where the clips come from. We'll have some clips of us, but constantly introducing new people every episode is going to not only create new viewers, but we'll find people that are interested in what we do, and they'll just start watching us by proxy just because they're like, what the heck is this? So
my dumbass left the fucking oven on and all that last night.
But it's Tuesday we only said Tuesday because Chayton said in a messenger that he could only do Tuesday. He said Tuesday would be the best day for him.
Yeah, and I don't even know sometimes nowadays because again, my fucking that's one of the reasons why I haven't really been streaming that like my streaming is a little more. But the one good thing with the overnight is that like my streaming will be more consistent in terms of time. It's either going to be early in the morning or later in the evening. But it's good.
Yeah, this is just today we streamed because this was just the perfect storm of me going into work later and Chayton happened to be live anyway.
Yeah, I was literally fucking streaming GTA and I was talking about fucking running a homeless woman out of the store with a baseball bat. And then I was gonna go in detail with that shit, and then fucking Tom's over here saying, oh yeah, let's go. I was like, yeah, okay, for sure.
But to answer your question in short, will there be weeks where we can't stream? Sure, of course there will. But the point is,
we don't owe you fuckers a damn explanation. No, I'm kidding.
The point is, we're going to have shorts and on-demand clips and stuff to keep people satisfied, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal because it's not like we're putting this channel on any of our channels, our own personal channels. This whole channel is a project in and of itself. So as long as the channel keeps pumping out content, it feeds itself. I don't want to miss 2 weeks in a row because I feel like that's a little too much. But if it's like a busy time and we need to skip a week, then it is what it is. And just we can't let it become a pattern.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning. You don't want to start missing weeks.
Jordan, do you want to hear about the homeless lady? It's a funny story.
Was this in GTA or was this in real life?
This is at work.
Oh boy, here we go.
I've kind of told bits and pieces of it and all that. what do you call it?
All right, this homeless beatdown. I mean, this homeless lady session is brought to you by your local nursing home. So, if you guys need some residents, look no further than than Chayton's place of business. Continue, Chayton.
What was I going to say?
I
Oh,
see
yeah.
what you did there when you stopped yourself when you said my name and then you went to Chayton. That's funny.
Go ahead, Chayton.
Oh yeah, so apparently the night before I was off the night I was busy either being at home or seeing my old battle axe. Anyway, we actually would we have projects planned also, some funny stuff. Anyway, that will be in due time. Anyway, so I was like the night before apparently there was this woman that was fucking losing her shit at fucking work, and I'm like, all right. So I hear she's gonna be there again today. All right. Usually, again, we deal with some homeless people, and I've always said this, and I know I get flack for this, and I get called a terrorist for this, but I believe they should put 90% of the homeless people on the fucking island and nuke them to all the hell. That's just my opinion, because of the fact that I know a good amount of people in my work experience who fucking don't have high school diplomas that make something of their lives. That are managers, what have you, et cetera, et cetera. So the point being is, it's homelessness to me at this point is not just because of tough times. It's a choice, the fucking choice that a lot of these fuckers are dealing with because they don't want the hard way. There are stories about rich people fucking going out to be homeless just to get extra money. You think that's bullshit? Trust me, I've seen stuff. Anyway, my point is that I have a very big disdain for them. I think they're ungrateful, and I think they're scum of the earth. But so there was this one lady. She seemed like she was fucking off her rocker. Probably around the age that David may like, maybe in the 50s or something. Anyway, because he's the Riz Master 3000, as we all know. Anyway, I gave the lady when I kicked her out David's number. But anyway, my point is that she was off her rocker because she was like not talking to herself and all that. Then called my coworker a bitch. I'm sitting there with my little mini bat. That I'm like thinking, okay, some of these people have to basically make loud noises, then they'll leave. I have to call BS on that. Let's be real. Like I want to elaborate that because yes, there are people that are on tough times. Yes, but I know certain people who it's not the high school thing and all that. Let's just be real here. If you need high school,
hey, there's people that haven't finished high school that make a great living.
Yeah. So like I truly believe
I never went to high school, and I can be intelligent as I can be by looking up stuff. So
Bobby Heenan.
I hate to say it, and this may sound crazy, but some of the people that build these tall buildings in the cities never had a day of education in their life. They don't like the blueprints or anything, but they have the hard labor and they carry everything they need to do it. They get paid more than most people. So just because you finish college just because you don't finish school, that doesn't mean you can't go on to do great things. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'll be going on to do great things in a year and 2 months. So
look at it this way. As I mentioned earlier, Bobby Heenan never graduated high school.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and no wonder I'm compared to Bobby Heenan by Eric. Would you stop? And then
yeah, but yeah, I honestly haven't so anyway. I don't like people in general. I'll be on, which is funny because I'm an entertainer, but I don't like that. but
that's contradicting.
There was a dude that was twice my size, and he was trying to size me up the other day, and I'm like, dude, fucking either do something or get the fuck out. Just because I'm doing my job, you're getting all testy with me. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you're bigger than me. And even if I don't whoop your ass, I'm gonna take a piece of you with me. And if you come back with a gun and try to kill me, well, hey, my daughter gets my life insurance, so there's something there. But anyway, so so again, this old lady, or again, probably middle age. I can't really say old. She's just talking to herself, blabbing on, blabbing on. And I'm like, just basically telling her to hurry the fuck up because I'm getting annoyed.
Did you literally tell her to hurry the up, like in those words?
Oh. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh my god, this is gonna be bad.
Because also, mind you, I'm back on.
Let's put it this way: he treated her like he treats his viewers.
I'm literally trying. I'm also like off cigarettes again, so I'm extra cranky. So when and again, when I get annoyed, I get really annoyed. So again, she was basically, she went to go buy something else. I told her to hurry up. Then she went outside and stood there for a little bit. She's coughing her lungs out the entire time. That was the other reason why I wanted her out, because I was disgusted by her. Anyway, I opened, like, she was starting to yell at me, even though at the beginning I was still being nice, even though I spooked her with the bat, because I hit the bat on the what do you call it? I hit the bat on the pole to kind of spook her. And she was like, "Oh, how you doing? Like, what you doing this and all that." And I told her, I said, "I don't even care. Like, I don't care about your lung issues. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Just do it off my property." And again, I would come back and forth through the door to try to tell her to leave, because I could easily call the cops, but I don't want. But by the time they get, apparently she got the cops called her the night before, and no one. And by the time they got there, she was already gone. So I basically told her, I said, I'm gonna be openly blunt. I don't like you. I don't like your kind. And what I mean by your kind is homeless. I'm like, because she was white as fuck. So let's. But I openly told her, I don't like your kind. You're scum of the earth.
That is so. I mean, somebody could take that and say that you're being racist.
The views and opinions that are expressed on this program are not shared by everybody as part of the panel.
Yeah, it's not shared by me either. But I'm telling you that right there, that was funny. Like, I'm telling you that's an asshole move if I ever saw one.
Oh no, it gets even better.
Oh no.
So then she's like. Then she's like, "Oh, I'm yelling at you." She told me she has lung issues. Then it gets better in a minute.
Oh, that's okay. Just so we're clear, that is my mom in the live chat. Just so
I believe it. I know I'm trying to quit again. I quit for 21 days before, and then so I'm in a better place now mentally, where like just other things going on in life, old battle axe, work, all this other stuff. Anyway, so. I was telling her, she was like, "Oh, you're being mean," and all that, and I'm like, "This, okay. I apologize. You're correct. We've been arguing like kids. What's your name?" And she's like, because I told her to get off the property, so she's like, I said, "I'm sorry. We've been mean to each other. What's your name?" And she's like, "Tina." I'm like, "Okay, Tina. Get the fuck off my property." And then she's like, and then she looks at me all dumbfounded. I'm like thinking, my apologies. I was not polite when I said this. Get the fuck off my property, please. And then later on, she was like, "Oh, you don't know my name is Tina." So I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Then when she came out, then I left again. I came out again because I noticed she was still there smoking. And I said, "Oh, you told me you got a lung issue, but yet you're smoking a cigarette." I said, "Well, I'm going to be a little more visceral to you until you get the fuck off of my property." I said, and she finally did. And I told her one last thing, because again, she said she had a lung issue, but she was like, all this. I told her, I said, "If you drop dead because of your lung issues, please do it off my property. Thank you." And I left. And then when she finally left, I said, "Bye. You have a wonderful day. Don't come back."
Oh my God.
And then she finally left.
Where is the asshole chant when you need it? Like, asshole, asshole, asshole. That was bad, but I mean, like, you know, the thing is, I know homeless people can be, you know, can be pestering, but not all of them can be that
No,
way.
there are some nice ones. I would pick who I would put in the nuke, you know, the island nuke, and before I nuke them. Dan wanted one time when we had this discussion. Dan wanted me to put him in Austin. I'm like, no, we're gonna find an island somewhere that's not gonna be missed.
Is that your girlfriend Chaden or what? Wait, he was talking about some homeless lady, not his girlfriend. Jeez.
No, that's gonna be. I'm gonna hook her up with the Rizmaster 3000.
Oh God.
We're gonna because I remember David has to get to 3,000 women by the time he's 30.
But anyway, I didn't know my mom stopped smoking until 2004. I mean, I don't remember her smoking in front of me when I was a kid.
Shit, my grandmother smoked. My mom never smoked around me because she stopped smoking when I was born. My grandfather, I think he got prostate cancer beforehand, so I don't remember him smoking either.
Well, if he got lung cancer, then he wouldn't have gotten prostate cancer. But so.
And then my dad got voice, but he still smoked.
But yeah, I hate when people die in my yard. Dragging them to the neighbor's yard sucks.
Die in my yard.
There was construction
Jordy
going
up with
on
the
where I
homeless
was,
lady.
so I shut my mic off for a second.
What did you think of the story, Tom?
I already heard it, bits and pieces of it earlier. I told him that he treats his employees, his customers, like he treats his viewers.
Oh,
Uh,
I hit it well when Pa died of lung cancer. I quit.
I think that she probably deserved a good talking to, because you can't just hang out at a convenience store loitering all day. But I don't think he gets paid. I don't think Chaden gets paid enough to deal with it himself. That's my opinion, though.
True. Like Mr. Money AD would say, true.
I think he could easily call his employer and say, "You have these people just hanging around here all day, and I'm not a security guard. So either you hire somebody to run detail or security, or you pay me more."
Oh my God. Okay.
Funny enough, next door, there's another store that has people the same way, that has them like, you know, what do you call it? That has a security guard overnight. But
see, that's what you need, and use them as an example. Say if so and so needs a security guard, do you think we don't? They're coming over here because they can't go over there. So you need to either pay me more or hire somebody.
I just like fucking chasing them off. It's like my favorite pastime.
Yeah, but if you can make a few bucks out of it, I would do it. I always advocate for more money for myself.
Hey
guys, I need like a few minutes, you know, so I'll be right back as soon as I can. So
well, I'm on 15%, so I'm probably gonna have to leave soon anyway.
And I'm probably going to end it soon because I gotta sleep. I didn't even know I was gonna be eating. But I'll say this though, like, no, Jason off the homeless is like, y'all know the job I had previously in between.
Okay, it looks like my mom's covering it. But anyway, she also told me to tell the story about what happened when another crazy lady came around our old house, the one we were living in. You know, it was the same house. You know, we were living in.
Tell me that so I can finish eating my sandwich. As long as it ain't disgusting.
It's not disgusting, trust me. But yeah, this was like, God, I can't remember which year it was, but I do know that I was still a teenager when this happened. And
by the way, it's an egg sandwich with some mayo. Just so anybody wondering.
Anyway, so there was this one time, and this is in the same house that we were living in before we moved, just so we're clear. And this was years ago. And it's in the same house, you know, where, you know, my mom found out the truth and you got exposed. Ew. Anyway, so.
And then I foreclosed that house. That's why you had to move. Ooh.
Yeah. But, and this is during a time where I think we still had like a hard drive, you know, and computers and stuff like that, because who needs hard drives in computers nowadays? You know, you got laptops, you got smartphones. I mean, like nobody needs that shit anymore.
Yeah,
So
porn.
yeah.
This would be random. What was that?
Yeah,
It was anything.
random
I don't know.
stuff that comes out of your head that that you think with the other head, not the one between your shoulders.
Anyway,
So
continue.
what happens is, I think this woman, I think she was homeless herself, and I'm gonna clarify this. She was also, a black lady, and before you ask, no, we did not, kick her out acting like, like a bunch of racist white trash.
Did you tell her we don't? Did you tell her I don't like your kind? Like I told the homeless lady?
No, we did nothing like that. But
Like again, if I wouldn't have said that if that woman was like of any race, but I knew I would get away with it because of the fact that like, now granted I'm Native American too, so in a way I could say I don't like your kind, white people.
Well, to answer that, no, we did not tell her that. But the thing is, I don't know what was going on with this woman. She was so emotionally high strung. I think she might have been drunk, and she just like comes in to the house after knocking. I don't know if she knocked or whatever, but she came into the house, and she's all like, "Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me."
I'm gonna dip out. I'll be
Oh,
watching
fuck.
behind the scenes.
All right.
Okay. Take care, Tom. So she's coming in all probably drunk as a skunk. She's, she's crying like, "Oh, he lost me." And there was a time where, you know about my sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so during that time, she also had a playpen, where it was big enough for her to, and this was also during a time when my brother was around, God rest his soul. But yeah, this was like out of nowhere, and I'm talking like RKO out of nowhere. She just comes out of nowhere, comes through the door, crying, acting like as if nobody loves her. My mom, I mean, I don't know what she's trying to do. She's not going to call the cops because, again, I mean, who wants the cops around? Especially in a neighborhood that's obviously somewhat becoming the ghetto. And again, like,
Dirty in the ghetto. Wow, makes sense why you have Ride and Dirty playing.
oh my God! Well, to be honest with you, the neighborhood beforehand was not really much of a ghetto. It was actually a nice neighborhood back during the 70s, 80s, and somewhat of the 90s. But when the 2000s and 2010s hit, yeah, it was becoming a ghetto.
What was I gonna say? See, if that was me, whatever y'all did, because whatever y'all did. See, if that was me, if someone was like just burst into my area, I said it's Texan in us. Would have put two in the skull right there.
Yeah, well,
it wouldn't matter what race the person would be. That would just be. I was telling my coworker the other day. I said, we talk about fighting out on the streets. That's one thing. I have no, like, if it gets to the point where I need to push come shove, need to fight somebody, all that. But if we're talking my place, if you're trying to come to my place, I ain't going for fucking fisticuffs. I'm going shoot to kill. That's just how I handle shit here, because this is my sanctuary. It's my place of solitude. And
but when it came down to it, I mean, I don't know if my mom was licensed or registered to use a gun at that point or whatever, but trust me, the story will get funnier as it goes on.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with us being mean to her like you were with that white homeless woman, just so we're clear. With us.
Hey, Omega, how you doing, man?
Oh, man.
Omega heard a homeless guy. He's very like, was she hot? And then you're like, no. Damn it, I don't. Son of a bitch. Now I'm going to go and help my PS5 again. Son of the bitches.
Well, this would be someone you wouldn't want to hook up with, considering how she may have gotten herself, mixed up into probably drugs and all that stuff, and probably not in the right way. But
and Jordan, that sounds great right now. I would love.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm like, let me see how good. Let me see how good my Omega impression is. I was like, Big Boy's like, Omega, keep your pants on. No, Chase, why you gotta do that? Why you don't want to see this big black dick? You don't want to see it in your face? I'm gonna make a magic, bitches.
I'm talking like I'm talking about. I mean, she could have been mixed up with drugs that could have been illegal kind, you know. And I'm not, and you know, but I want to continue the story before we get off topic.
Continue. I just wanted to do a little skit.
And as she's in the house making herself comfortable, she even sits down on our sofa. You know? and I'm like, and I'm thinking, my mom's only being kinder because one, she doesn't look like a threat. She's not coming in with a weapon or whatever. She's just emotionally high strung. She must have gotten drunk or whatever. And
your mom has more patience than I would have. That situation was me. There would be no sitting on the couch. There'd be a crime scene right there.
Yeah, well.
No, I give you, especially with her with the kids, you know, like if that was like, let's say my daughter was there and all that, if that situation happened with me, I basically threw a knife on a homeless person once.
I know what you would have done. I know what you would have done, and trust me, I mean, picturing it right now is something that somebody does not want to do. But anyway,
I'll tell you my own story in a minute. Once you get wait. Mom Bear says, Jordan, I don't know if you know, but the word ghetto has racial connotations, so try not to use that word, my son.
Oh, and that's actually her telling me that. I mean, well, that's what it was becoming. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it.
No, Jordan. You be a good old Christian boy. I tell you.
My son.
My son, I raised you to be a better man.
I can't believe. Well, I didn't know it's become a part of racial connotation. How am I supposed to know what is supposed to be used and what not to be used? Sue me. Anyway.
I will.
Oh, and all of a sudden, she, like, after she's made herself comfortable, I think she picked up my sister from the playpen. I'm not kidding you. She literally lifted my sister out of her playpen just to hold her a bit.
How old was your sister at the time?
Oh my God. I think she was around, and understand she has cerebral palsy and all that. Depends on the context of when he said as the word ghetto. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ulysses.
I live in the fucking ghetto. I'm not gonna fucking deny that. I'm proud of living in the ghetto. Fuck that. Fuck high society bullshit.
So, but yeah, she was probably around. I think my mom would remember this. I mean, I think my sister was somewhere around 8, 10, maybe, I don't know. Because again, she, you know, like my sister was cerebral palsy, you know, and then she, you know, has the mind of an infant, you know. But yeah, a lot of meth heads were living around on our block. Yep. So
same, Omega. Same.
So after, you know, she did that, she put her back in the playpen, I think, or maybe my mom took her and put her in her wheelchair. I don't know what it was. But it's, you know, a little bit vague at best. But then this is where you're going to probably laugh at me for this, and you'll probably call me this name for a long time. But you know what? I got nothing to hide. So she takes a look at me. And she, like, you know what I'll call you? I'm going to call you Gargamel. Like Gargamel, the villain from the Smurfs.
Gargamel.
Yeah, Gargamel. That's how she said it. You know, she's like,
I'm going to Gargamel.
Gargamel.
Dirty. David, I can't use that. Fuck, I can't use that with dirty. Gargamel, you goggle on that wood.
Well, I knew you were gonna use something with it, but that's what she called me. And I was like, fuck, I need to find something to make it rhyme with it. Gargamel, you goggle on that wood. and then this is where where she starts to leave, and you're probably gonna laugh when you hear about this one. We also used to have a white black type tabby cat, and his name was Cece. Cece shortened for Christian cat. So I named the cat, just so we're clear.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it named after Christian Cage?
No, it was named after, just the terminology of Christian, like born again Christian.
Oh, okay. I was like, it would be a lot cooler if it was Christian the cat, like the cat for Christian Cage.
Yeah, well, then again, if it was named after Christian Cage, then yeah. But still, so after she takes a look at the cat, she's all like, "Oh no, get that away from me! It looked like a big old killer." I'm not kidding. This is a true story.
The big cat?
Yeah, she was a fat. I mean, he was a fat cat, but he wasn't that big. I mean, you know how she reacted to her? She reacted to him as if it was a lion or a tiger at the zoo. I'm not.
Like, what the fuck? Well, I was gonna say the drugs probably finally kicked in, where she's fucking.
Or maybe she had trouble with cats when she was younger.
That too. A cat took away her or actually no, you know what? She maybe watched The Lion King too much. Not like a fucking not Simba. Fucking
Simba up.
What's the evil one? Oh, Scar. Probably thought all of them were like Scar and all evil cats and all that.
Yeah, well, my cat didn't have a scar, so that just shows you. By the way, God rest his soul too. My cat. And after that, I think she also probably heard that we also had guns too. And no, we were not going to use them because, again, those are my daddy's guns. Anyway.
Wow, Joy, y'all those southern stereotypical gun control. I tell you what, you tread on me, I'll blow your head off.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. We weren't even going to use them because here's the thing. My dad wasn't even around when this was happening. I think he was off somewhere, I don't know where he was at the time. I mean, he could have been at a meeting or whatever that took place in another state. It's like pastor stuff,
Yeah,
or he could have been at the church for all we know. But still, at the end of the day, she left without too much of a fuss. And, and that wasn't the last one we saw of her. She also came back one time, talking, just like wanting to see if she can give us stuff. But we, kindly refused. And then we never saw her again after that.
Yeah, see, like I said, the patience there, because like with me, that would have been 2 in the brain.
Yeah.
Now
with my dad, on the other hand, I don't know how he would have handled that situation, to be honest with you. But then again, maybe he would have handled it similar like my mom did, except, but then again, who knows? But I will say this though. I mean, I was very specific with the details. The woman was black. She was, and she was homeless, obviously, or maybe she was, drunk or whatever. And yeah, we just tried to handle the situation calmly as we could. She wasn't even, and the thing is, she wasn't even a threat. She didn't have a weapon. She didn't hold anything. She didn't have anything in her pockets, obviously, because again, something would have been sticking out. And Jayden, do not run with that when you talk about sticking out of your pocket. And and as far as I'm concerned, she left without a fuss, except being afraid of, my cat and guns. I don't know which one's more terrifying, but
well, it's like I partially, I think it's my grandfather that got me to have I guess the same, because like I remember as a kid, my grandfather and I were coming from HEB. He was putting me in the back seat. I was probably like 4 or 5. I very vaguely, like, this is one of the memories that stuck with me while I was that age.
Yeah.
So my grandma puts me back seat. My grandfather, I guess, is doing something. So this homeless dude comes from behind him, I guess, asking for money. And I don't see my grandfather pull out his gun, but I just see the guy's hands up, and my grandfather says, "Back the fuck off," and he and all that, and the guy backs away, and my grandfather basically asked if I was okay, all that stuff. He told me never. He says, never be like one of those people. I said, you are better than them. You are this, you're that. You know, they're beneath you, and all that. So I started like, and so that kind of rubbed off on me. Even now, like I remember my biggest pet peeve is when I'm eating and somebody asks me for money. I will openly tell them, "You've got 5 seconds or 60 seconds to leave this area, to leave at least in my vicinity." Well, one time my ex-wife and our daughter were at a McDonald's. We went to go eat, right? And again, he has a play area, all this other shit, right? Right. So yeah, this homeless dude came up to me in front of them and all that. And luckily, we were sitting in a way that I was closer to the edge where if I needed to do something, my daughter didn't need to fully see. So like I literally pulled out my knife and I flipped it open. I told the guy, I said, "I'm gonna give you 5 seconds, or I'm gonna stab you in the artery in your leg. I got it aimed right here. I'm like, you ain't walking out of here. Do not come near me and my family and ask for money. Go get a fucking job." I was doing this very low key. I was whispering it to them. And I know it makes me sound like a fucking monster, which fuck if what a lot of people think. But it's like I don't know how these people are. So you gotta basically you don't know how they are gonna be if you say no. You don't know if they're gonna be nice at the beginning. Then you tell them no.
Hold on a second. Ulysses just said, "Chayton, when I see you, I'm gonna ask you for $20." Ooh, that's a challenge right there.
I know, right? But like, you know, when you ask me for fucking like money or all that, or ask me for shit, like, you know, in all that regard, you know,
no, that's disgusting if someone asks you for shit.
Well, like, but if you're gonna ask me and I tell you no, how do I know you're not gonna come back later on and try to do something? I need to put that fear in you to where you know that I'm going to tell you no, and you're going to like it being no, and you better hope it's only no, because
sometimes when you say, okay, Tom just said sometimes when you say no, they get hostile. I've had that happen to me many times.
Like, okay, like most common one, I've been asked for cigarettes. I'll politely tell them I don't have. This is my last one. They'll look at my pockets and see like the outline of the cigarette, and I'll make a joke out of saying, "Why are you looking at my dick, man?" They'll be like, "Hey, I see the pack in your pocket." I'm like, "Why are you looking at my dick?" I'm like, "I don't roll that way, pal," but yeah. I've done that, but then they still try to do that. Again, it makes me sound heartless, but again, as I've said, let's be honest here. There's a lot of people.
You can also say me no English.
You can also say, like, "My name's Jeff." But anyway, my point is is that exactly, like that's why I mentioned earlier. Adam brings a good point. But like I said, and some people disagree, but I would love for anybody to give me a good counter argument to this. Being homeless is a fucking choice. It's not like because you could make something of your life. You don't need the diploma. You don't need the college education. Make something of your life. And if you don't and all that, then, you know, not like, let's say there's 10 homeless people in each area. Maybe I would say 1 or 2 of them are because of financial issues, recessions, inflations, Joe Biden, whatever reason why you're homeless. Joe Biden, you know, like ain't like that, okay? But I truly believe that 8 of the 10 people, 2 of them is not their fault. It is the environment that they are in, or the current situation. Rent is going up, whatnot. But the other 8 choose to be that way because they have nothing going for them. You know, they don't see themselves as anything. So they want the handouts. They want the easy way. Granted, being homeless is not easy. Let's just be real. But the fact is that, you know, a lot of you make this choice. So I don't have sympathy for you. I come.
Hold on. I'm gonna play this real quick. Hold on a second. You just said that one word, and I gotta play this. Hold on. Let me see. Favorites. All right.
Of course, in your favorites.
You come out here and try to get the sympathy of the people, but you don't get my sympathy at all.
but fucking, like, I worked hard for my living. I've worked hard for my income. I've worked hard for like my collection, shit like that. You know, I have worked, whether people want to criticize jobs I've had or what occupation I have, motherfuckers. Some, like, a lot of people that have criticized my work don't have any jobs of themselves, or they don't find a way to keep themselves consistently employed. No matter what, I pour my blood, sweat, and tears into whatever place I'm at, and
Yep.
I make the dough. I literally walked out today with $100 extra just for no reason, just because of the fact that, you know, I'm doing, and it's not me stroking my ego or whatnot. This is just me pointing out fact. I went to go get bread because I needed bread to make some breakfast. I went to go get Dragon Ball Z Superhero on 4K. You know,
That's
it's
nice.
still, you know, I just got this randomly.
Hold on a second. My mom just said I bought $40 worth of groceries for a homeless couple sitting outside a store, and he had the audacity to then ask me for cash instead.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the other reason they will act like you offer them to do something, but then they want more. They want fucking and let's be honest, a lot of them want it for drugs or beer money or cigarettes or whatnot.
That's what Sloppy just mentioned. A lot
Yeah,
of the
let's
times,
see. A lot of
homelessness
homeless
is
caused
caused
by
by
drug addiction.
to
And
no
and
family
I'll be
around,
honest
mental
here.
issues, many factors to being homeless. We help the homeless, and we hear the stories on why they became homeless.
Let's be honest here. Is like whatever situation's going around, no family, mental issues, addiction, what have you. Let's just be honest here. Is that our problem? Is that us, like, working class people that are working 40 hours, 80 hours, however much?
Not
Again,
to sound harsh, it really isn't our problem. You know, if you're
yeah,
working
like,
stiff.
some people are probably right now watching this, finding the best way to cancel this whole situation. You know, but argue me this: do you, I'll quote my favorite, one of my all time favorites. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Oh yeah. And
You
they
know,
want
it's
cash
just
instead
it's
because
just
they want drugs, alcohol, or any addictive product. Yep. And then Tom says, my local area has a problem with people pretending to be homeless for money. They actually make decent money in certain locations.
yeah. Like okay, for example, I know if I ever wanted to actually do that, I know exactly where I'd go. A few places I'd go where I will make some good cash. You know, just because, again, it's the air, but again, it's just how it is. You know, that's why you don't see a lot of homeless in certain areas, because those areas are pretty much occupied by people who want to get the most money, because and all that. But
Hold on a
like,
second. I knew he was gonna ask this. You know, is it okay if I come in for a sec? Okay, can I send him the streamer link?
okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna debate me, bro. Debate me. Oh God, would you shut the fuck up already?
I'm looking to see what's going on my phone. I haven't checked my phone in bits. Oh shit! I know one thing. I'm gonna sleep good once I get done. Once I get done with this.
I'm probably gonna nap good once I'm out of here. But then again, I'm just gonna stay here just to help you get more views.
I've been mostly talking, motherfucker. So it's always.
I was talking too, mother.
Yeah, but the only person
Hold
that
on,
can
hold on.
curse.
You know that song off Camp WWE? I don't know if you saw this one, but it's one where there was actually an episode with Bray Wyatt on there. God rest his soul. But, you know, as kid Bray Wyatt in Camp WWE. And there's a song that goes like, this mother, and then that mother.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna be like, I didn't watch Camp WWE because I wasn't 5 years old.
Actually, the show is rated TVMA.
Yeah, you're right. and welcome, Big Boy.
Yo, so you guys were talking about this. I just want to add a small little story to it. A few years ago, I was dating someone, and we were walking down. It was around wintertime around this time, and there's this homeless guy. Apparently, he's been homeless for well over 15 years, and she would literally give this guy money from time to time. Every time she would go down there, and she knew he was going to spend it on drugs. It was obvious. And even I asked her, like, why would you give this guy money knowing he's going to spend it on drugs? For her reason was because she wanted to give him like some kind of like joy in life a little bit, because she could tell that the guy's life was miserable and it wasn't going to get any better at all. A part of me somewhat understands it, but doesn't fully understand it. The whole thing with homelessness now, it's gone up in San Antonio. Shane, you live in San Antonio. You see the number go up. There are a lot of lazy motherfuckers. I will admit that.
Oh my god!
But also, there's also certain things. It's also when it comes to housing, that's very tough. The amount of people in San Antonio. There's also another thing where, like, a lot of even places as far as housing, apartments, a lot around here are where you have to make at least 3 times the amount of income to rent an apartment.
That doesn't make any sense because, like, let's be honest here. Like, okay, for example, all right, like when this place was for, like, I'll be honest, this place was gonna be me, my ex-wife, my daughter. And at the time, I was doing temp service. She was getting disability. And we almost didn't get this place because since temp service was not concrete, and so it was based off of her income, all this other shit. Thank goodness for my mother, kind of saving everything, but we got it in. But the point was that at the time, it was going to be difficult for us to find a place because of the fact that we had to make a certain, like, the 2 to 3 times and all that, which I think is bullshit. If you could come in, like, for example, if I could walk into this apartment right now and say it's $2,000 a month, I'm like, here, I don't make enough, but here, or I make enough to pay a rent every month, but I don't make times that. Maybe I'll make $3,000 or something like that a month. Well, here's $4,000 for the first 2 months. There you go. You know, it's like that should be, if you have the funds to make it, that should be fine. I don't understand the 3 times the thing is, because let's be honest here. Like if an apartment
they want a better chance of getting their rent. That's the thing. They want a better chance of having people that'll actually pay the rent, knowing that they have a good amount of income on a monthly basis.
You must pay the damn rent.
Because before it was easier because it was cheaper a few years ago, but the thing is went up, so it's still 2.5 to 3 times on a lot of these apartments around here. There's still housing and all that other stuff, but you have to be on a list, and it takes months or even years.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest here, it's like fucking.
Hey, hang on a second, Shane. You mind if I read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Sloppy says, I volunteer for a homeless shelter, and we talked to them, and a lot of them were abused as kids. Damn. Or their parents are addicted as well, and they don't have family. My mom's response, and it's the ones that don't have those reasons for being homeless and are just grifters that make it harder for the genuine victims to get the help they need.
She brings a fair point.
They're all growing up in a bad area.
Down payment on the home and paying the same amount and owing. Yeah. Like, you know, I was fortunate to get this place and all that, and the people the people that run this place have been good with me, at least with because they've openly told me they've been trying to raise the rent for a while for everybody, and I've openly told them. I said, well, first off, I'm like, you know, I've been paying a certain amount this long anyway, more than I probably should. Second, there's still some issues got to be dealt with, and then thirdly, I'll be
with Shane. I've checked out your apartment complex. I've checked it out. I mean, they can try to rent the rent, but they got to fix it.
No doxing.
No
doxing. No doxing.
No, I'm not saying where it is, but I'm just saying, like, if any apartment complex wants to raise the rent and all that, they got to perform their end and actually fix things and make sure things are running properly.
Yeah. But they've
'Cause
been
otherwise,
good, with
if-
everything else. I basically have told them certain things, like, you know.
Hold on
about-
a second.
about-
Hold on a second, Jaden. He was trying to say something too.
Oh, well, go ahead. My bad.
You got to
No,
be fair
but-
here.
if you're gonna raise the rent like an apartment complex, like you got to be able to things like from the looks of it. I mean, certain things do need to be fixed, obviously, but they won't do anything. I've seen some of the maintenance people that I've seen there don't look like they're doing much of anything.
Why
They're
are you
just-
stalking me? Are you trying to catch me in the shower,
Actually,
man?
Oh, actually, no. I was looking at different apartments for the heck of it. So, and then when I checked out yours, because I was actually not far from there, and I said, "Oh, I'll check out like your apartment complex, what it's like," and it just didn't really catch my interest. I mean, I saw certain things that were not up to stands to where they should be. It looks like it's been damaged for quite a while. Like the maintenance there won't fix it.
It's
Which they
it's an old place. Like, it looks a lot. Like, I always say this.
Cold, but like the damage, I can see it's been there for a while.
Yeah, like, it's funny because it looks bad from the outside, but like inside, I've made it my own. But one thing I will say though is I still believe you were trying to catch me in the shower. I may have mentioned I have see-through windows, so sometimes people can see through the window. But
Like,
yeah,
no, I was in the mood for a milkshake, and I wanted to get one for cheap.
well, like, you see it for free through the window, through the peep show, lady picture show, all that shit. That's why some people still like to watch my shower video when I was doing the for my intro, because they love watching me in the shower.
I have a
Yeah,
better
that's
connection
bad.
now,
Oh,
so I figure I could add what's going on, Chase. I figured I could add some insight to the Northeast homeless problem. We definitely have a homeless problem, but we have a lot of shelters in place to kind of help them get back on their feet. In terms of the rent, it is high. Rent's really expensive at the moment, but because I live so close to the city, there are affordable options, and there are a lot of shelters that will actually help start up a payment or get you in a position to where you can afford a place to live. The problem is, and I think Sloppy alluded to this, when they get money, and I'm not trying to be so broad, I'm just talking about the ones that are afflicted with certain issues. They don't manage it correctly, and they end up back on the streets. Maybe that's because our educational system failed to educate them on what matters the most. Maybe it's because their addiction drives them to waste their money, whether it be gambling or drugs. But either way, they get put in a position, the moment the leashes are off, they end up back on the street. And it's just an endless cycle. That is just talking about the homeless here locally.
it's very true, and I will say this: I was originally planning after the pandemic was over to move back up north, and then just see like with all the prices up there are high. Like just a 1-bedroom apartment's like $1,800 a month.
Yes, that's what I pay. $1,800 a month. That's not including rent.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not rent. That's not including car payments, which I have 2 cars. That's not including internet, cable, streaming services, electricity, which you don't need some of the stuff, but you do need electricity. You do need groceries. You do need a car. You do need gas.
Like my place is like all bills paid, and we used to have free cable, but they switched it from free cable to free internet. And it's the internet I'm using currently for the stream and from when I do my gameplay
I don't
streams.
think a lot of people like to watch free cable anymore.
But the thing is,
Honestly,
homeless-
I'd take free cable and free internet any day.
the homeless problem will never get better if they aren't being treated the right way, which means maybe there is a little bit of therapy that needs to be enforced before they get the opportunities to go to get a house. Because at the end of the day, the problem is there's only so much money that you can help fund the crisis or help others.
See, and
But
here's
you need to
an
know.
issue. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say
You need to know how to give the money, because you might give, like, I don't know, maybe they're working within a community and you're helping front some money as part of a program, and then they go and get an apartment for that with first last, and so maybe it ends up being like $4,000 or $4,500. Okay, now you got this apartment, but then they only stay for like a month or two, and then they end up getting dumped out in a month or whatever. That money was not, I hate to say wasted, but that money could have gone to somebody who stayed on their feet longer. maybe that person didn't go through the proper help that he needed to avoid that. It's still his fault.
You got to admit, though, a lot of us that did grow up with the financial advice from school and all that, we weren't taught that stuff, the stuff that's necessary that we use on a daily basis.
Well, let's also say this. Okay, so I remember a few years ago there was a report going that they were going to move the shelter that was to me the biggest problem in our area is that the homeless shelter is in the heart of the city, is in downtown,
which it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that they need to move it out of downtown
because let's be like, okay. Basically, I'll
I hate to interrupt, but I understand the reasoning.
God damn it, it's my street. Go ahead.
No, I'm just telling you, I understand the reasoning behind making it downtown because you want to be close to local businesses. It's easy to get them to and from.
Jail too.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but it is close to public transportation. I get it, but there needs to be another level to a homeless shelter where maybe when they have a little more of on their feet, they move to a different location where they can kind of spread their wings a little and start to be more independent on their own while still having a watchful eye. But it's weird because then they might be looked at as, oh, they now feel like criminals because they're being watched. But at the end of the day, they're not. People are trying. The homeless shelter is there to help them.
But there was funding issues, which caused it to stop.
Well, and here's the other thing: they were going to move Haven for Hope, which is the homeless shelter here, one of the main ones at least. They were going to move it to a location in the boonies, basically, which I was all in favor of. Get them out of downtown, get them far away, get them somewhere nice and isolated, and leave them there. They can't go far because there ain't much in that area than that fucking because I guess the funding shit. I was so excited because I'm like, finally get them out of the fucking. We don't have to deal with the people that are getting out of jail.
So do you guys have employment firms? I forgot what they're called, but there's one in Rhode Island, and then there's one in where homeless shelters will actually put them into a temporary, like a temp agency, and the temp agency, the criminals can be in it. Yeah, anybody can be in it. You can be homeless or a criminal, but you use the temp agency.
I did temp agencies like when I was married because that was at the time the only thing I could do that work-wise at the time because of the fact that was a little bit more flexible and I wouldn't have to worry about,
well, but companies don't have to invest in you if you go to a temp agency. They can just call the temp agency and be like, I don't want to.
I could have gotten a job. It was like again being married at the time and basically be like, okay, well, if I need you this day to watch our daughter, so I can go do God knows what, then you could do that. So like that was what I was doing at the time. And she was doing it also because that was her way of getting some extra income, but not too much because, again, she was on disability. She couldn't go over a certain amount of money. So that was her way of getting. If you're in a temp agency,
if you're homeless, go to a temp agency because I believe you can even
do something. Be productive with your life.
You can they'll hook you up with opportunities, and you just have to make the most of the opportunities. You can't.
I made good connections to that fucking temp agency. I'll admit.
Yeah, you get connections. You don't even have to stick with the job. The best part about temp agencies isn't just for the big company that's hiring. The person that gets hired can easily call the temp agency and be like, "This job ain't for me." And you don't have to call the company. You just call the temp agency. They'll call the company for you, and they'll give you another job. It works both ways. Temp agencies are a great tool for the homeless. And my local one, I don't know about y'all, but my local one will let you use their address if you don't have an address.
I will give a confession on this. Back in 2009, after graduating high school and all that, I don't know if a lot of you guys remember this, but there was like another Great Depression going on.
Yeah.
Where there wasn't money and all that. It was hard to get
recession. Yep.
Yeah. So what I had to do, it took a couple of months, but I had to go through a temp agency through Manpower to get a job at Continental Automotives. So, and they had a thing giving people jobs and all that. And you had up to a year to work there, and you could work there longer if you get converted. So I used that, and I worked there for about 3 years doing 12-hour shifts. But I know the first 6 months, I worked as much as I could, working 12 hours up to 6 days a week. So
Yeah.
I know.
Do you think the
within
young
first 3
homeless?
weeks, go ahead.
What about the young homeless? Do they know about these opportunities? Like, who's educating them? They might have no idea that we don't do a good job promoting this stuff. I don't see temp agency signs on my street. I don't know about y'all.
In 2009, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, we had MySpace and all that other stuff, but it wasn't promoted as much. People always saw like signs they drove by and all that other stuff. I mean, but like I said, it was hard just to get a job back at that time when graduating high school and college at the time.
I was like 13 or 14 when that whole situation was happening.
Well, I'm saying nowadays, even today, they don't do a good job. Like if you're 22, 23 and you're homeless because of a bad situation, you might not know about these opportunities. You might not know that there's a temp agency or there's a program that'll help find you a place to live. You might not know any of this.
Now, that's the thing. They could easily go stop by your local library or whatever, use the internet.
Yes,
we have
you're
access
right.
to the internet a lot easier than we did like 10, 20 years ago.
Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Jordan, I went on a rant about people not speaking contribute. Why in the f are you not contributing this conversation, you schmoop?
I'm just enjoying the debate because I don't really want to input an opinion on this one because I'm enjoying myself.
It's a privilege, not a right. You're lucky that you're cool, because otherwise I put you backstage.
I don't agree with Shane's idea of how people should operate on panels. I've also made my opinion known earlier in the stream. But
Sorry,
anyway,
the
this is a good conversation, and this is exactly what the point of what the show that Chayton and I were working on. That's why I'm glad that it turned into this, because these are type of topics that we wanted to elaborate on. Now, if this was a normal show, while you guys are talking, I could go on VR and I could pull opinions from other people on what they think. And then it would be a full program full of different opinions. And I think it's great. But back to that, homeless locally is always going to be an issue because it's a mix between people that don't know how to improve their lives because they aren't educated properly about it, or they aren't seeking the proper programs to do it, or they have addictions. And when they are given the opportunity, they struggle to hold on to the opportunity that they're given. And it's always going to be, that's human nature.
But it's also people that are just plain lazy. They'll just live off whoever they could till they're like, even with their parents till the day they die, or they'll find somebody to live off of. Like they don't want to work. They'll find any kind of excuse not to work or do anything. Like there's a lot of it. Like during the pandemic, we got stimulus checks. A lot of people quit their job and just relied on that. And it was a huge number of people that quit.
I'll be honest, I kind of miss those days. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, goddamn, with the stimulus thing, like a lot of people quit their jobs. It was huge, like a huge number. People just didn't want to work. They didn't want to, flip a burger or sweep a floor or anything like that.
They were paying good money to flip a burger though, like $18, $19 an hour where I live.
Oh yeah,
that's another thing. Sloppy was asking like really $1,800 a month, and like, yes, because up in Rhode Island, if you work at a McDonald's, you're not getting like the common minimum wage of like 8 or 7 whatever bucks an hour. Up north, you get around like 16 to 18 an hour.
Oh,
because
right now it's 19 an hour for just a standard McDonald's employee or Burger King. Manager role, like $22 to $25 an hour.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just a regular employee, a regular McDonald's employee.
Regular employee, starting pay $19 an hour.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's good money, but at the same time, you're living up there. Everything is expensive up there.
Yeah, $300 grocery shopping, $300 to $500 grocery shopping, and the rent is high. Even energy is high in general. Everything's high.
Yeah, I originally was going to end up moving back up there, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm foreign up there for some reason. Like with all those kind of people up there. No offense, Tom. I'm sorry, but it's just like, I mean, the roads are crazy as fuck, and then there's a lot of people I just can't relate to.
Well, it's just, I mean, the same can be said. When I go down south, I can't relate to anybody down south, so I completely understand. I grew up around here, so I just understand, and I'm used to it. So at the end of the day, I think the Boston area hardens you,
I still want
and
to,
there's
but I
nothing
still
like
find
it.
a good place up there. I mean, it's hard to find a good
Hello.
area.
Somebody in the live chat was just
He's like down here,
saying
like,
hello.
Holy Jordan, that cat that he said that for. Well, I was gonna say though, regarding to what about the driving, like hell, like I've asked two
The
people.
roads
I've
are
asked-
different up north, Chain. They're way different. They're more crazier. They're more crisscross roads up there
Our
than there is.
roads were designed for horses, so you can't even fit 2 cars down half of them.
Because I was about to say, man, I got one guy from Arkansas, and another guy from fucking Dallas who says the fucking roads are like the one thing they hate is the fucking shit.
I wonder if I saw pictures of like some of the roads that I took, like how they are. Like there's bound to be a couple of crashes every week. The way some of those roads
All
are.
the time. All the time, people fly. But like I said, they're designed for horses. So any old road that you see is not that big. The problem is they've already built the houses on the foundation. They're not going to take away people's property. So the roads just end up being tiny. So they're all one ways and stuff. But people still try to squeeze down them.
Oh man, though, yeah. I mean, I could live up north, but it's like at the same time, I don't know if I could be there by myself with the. Like, I feel like I'm around strangers. Family's there, but still, everyone else is like a stranger to me.
But anyway, I'm going to head out. I just wanted to bring a little light to what it's like in the Northeast with homeless. And it's not much different. I do think that Northeast might offer a little bit more opportunity for the homeless, but the opportunity isn't enough. It's what the person does with the opportunity that matters.
No, I
That's a
agree,
good-
and yeah,
that's a good
and
point right there.
I'm what do you call about to end this stream myself too, because one, I gotta get some sleep. I didn't expect the stream to go as long as it did, which I'm kind of glad though. It had some good conversations. If you notice, I changed the name of the title of the stream.
Yeah, I saw that. Gaming
You know.
and homeless crisis.
You only
sounds
need
tight.
6 hours of sleep.
Huh?
You only need 6 hours of sleep.
Well, yeah,
That's
got
what I
another-
say too, man.
I'll be
Yeah,
going to bed tomorrow, but I'm set to wake up at 6.
Oh, see, I don't have to wake up till like technically 8:30. Plus, I told my old battle axe because I'm supposed to go see her after work tomorrow, most likely. So,
Your old battle axe.
huh?
Your old battle axe.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a name we're using right now for the time being.
Well, my mom just told me lunch is ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and dip on out of here. So you guys
You
take
don't
it.
want to eat your food while you're talking. I like what I was doing. I'm offended.
Bite me
No, thank you. I don't roll that way, pal.
later.
Go bite onto your food. Go bite onto your sausage.
It's like, let him go eat his Cheerios. Leave him alone.
No, I'll probably be doing that. I'll be doing that tomorrow, so then I'll just be fucking like because I've been mainly stream games recently and stuff. I know I heard you got banned again from.
Well, it's suspended, yeah, so I gotta wait till
Suspended,
December 26th to stream it live.
So like with me, I'm just I'm like hell. If I don't get banned for the shit that I said about the homeless lady at the beginning of my Grand Theft Auto stream that I did for like 12 minutes, and the fucking I don't know what the fuck's going on with you because I don't get banned. I say some fucked up shit too sometimes on PlayStation.
But it's cool. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I'm
free
like-
content, whatever.
I'm literally like, bitch, you fucking deserve to get run over or something like that, and nothing.
That shit all the time. I even say that in real life sometimes.
Yeah, you're one of the cool ones, Shane, aka the Rockstar. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. You know, I got the beanie. I'm trying to, I got a bigger beanie. Got rid of my old one, so that way it's easier for me to grow my hair out. Once I do that and shit. Although my old battle axe is supposed to make me some dreads soon. She's gonna try to turn my hair to get some dreadlocks going. We'll see how that works. Apparently, I look good with dreadlocks.
About the homeless thing and all that.
Huh?
It was interesting talking about the homeless stuff that's going on. I admit that. At the same time, it's kind of depressing because like it's wintertime and we're gonna see a lot of that around no matter where we go. So it is what it is, I guess. And then as far as living wise, yeah, I mean, there are people still trying to find a home to where they just trying to qualify is tough.
Yeah.
Like the one I had to do, like I said, I had to make at least 3 times the amount in order to qualify. It was easier, but a few years ago, but they jacked up the rent everywhere.
Yeah. Like when I first came here, I think I was paying like $700. Now I've been
How much do
keeping
you pay on yours?
huh?
How much you pay on rent?
700 and they've been trying to move my rent up to like between to 850 to 900, but I keep telling them I'm like I'll pay 775, and until certain things go on, and I'm like
You got it easier, man. I mean, fucking my rent's $12.60 a month.
and mind you, it is not it is paying cold hard. It's not like any disability or anything like that, Section 8 type shit. I'm paying it just as much as, I just, again, I'm very good with people and very good at talking,
Oh, I feel you. But
yeah, and all that. Desmond Miles says, Chase, last week it was reported that in articles that there were multiple people banned for no reason on PlayStation. It may have been by mistake for you too.
I believe it was a mistake for me too.
Yeah, because you don't say shit like you say shit like
I talk. We all talk shit. ITB, Double Z. We all talk shit.
Let's be honest. It's not as bad as how it was back in the old days of online playing.
Yeah, we're not doing the racist, homophobic stuff.
Yeah, you're not like you're not calling fucking, or you're not like calling ITB the N word, or Double Z's calling you an in lover like that one dude on your stream.
That was really fucked up by that dude. Like he's accusing me or ITB being racist on Fortnite. Like what the? I'm not gonna say much about that dude.
Better buying a condo, putting 3.5% of and owning it. There are like if ever I do go somewhere else here, because I have said that if ever I leave, if ever
you could do, but right now it's not a good time.
Yeah, I would be moving out of San Antonio if ever I left here, but I would probably try to get closer to downtown. And luckily nowadays I do know some people that I know could get good words for me down there, because I've always wanted to kind of live downtown.
This new little house building thing. I don't know how to. I got the link to it.
There's places like ironically there's an apartment, there's like an apartment complex by the courthouse, then there's an apartment complex above the Aztec Theater, and then there's an apartment complex above the Majestic Theater. I'm like, fucking A, you can hear all the noises of the fucking shows every day, which actually wouldn't be that bad. But with that being said, guys, I would love to continue this conversation, but there is always another time. And plus, the old saying, leaving the people wanting more. And with 3 hours, how in the fuck would you want more? But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for the feedback. And it was a great conversation. It turned from one thing to another, which I really liked. And let me know what your thoughts. Do you think I'm a fucking psycho for the way I feel about homeless? Do you think I'm sane of what I think about the homeless? Or is it somewhere down the middle? Let us know in the comments down below. One piece of advice. Go ahead.
Have your thoughts on homeless people, but if something happens to you, you gotta think also in their shoes a little bit.
Yeah, how I look at it, I try to.
Not everybody's on drugs or anything that's out there homeless.
Yeah.
Believe me.
The closest thing I was like homeless was when my ex-wife kicked me out for the night. But again, I was smart. I had some money saved. Went to a gym's, sat there for a couple hours, bought a drink. That way, I had something to say, I'm buying and shit. Wait for the buses to start running, and off to my mother's.
It's hard. Like gyms and all that aren't 24 hours anymore.
Yeah, it sucks.
Not even Walmart's or whatever. So yeah,
Walmart,
you used to
fucking Tart, like HEBs, like fucking all that shit that used to be 24 hours. I could go if I needed to. I could go walk up the road to get me a fucking cart, like a thing of milk. But now I gotta go to fucking a gas station and pay double the price or triple the price. For
I think like
same
the only
fucking
place you
thing.
can still go that's 24 hours where you can do pretty much anything is Vegas.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking
those
Vegas.
places, everything's still 24 hours there pretty much.
We're gonna have to move there, big boy. Like seriously, we're gonna have to move to Vegas. We're
Gotta
gonna have
work
to become,
gambling skills a little bit more before I do
we're gonna
that.
have to become the new Chippendales. You
Oh
be
god.
Patrick Swayze, I be Chris Farley.
Well, wear a decent sports bra, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do that from fucking what was it? Fucking Saturday Night Live. We'll make some money somewhere. Someone will pay us. But yeah. With that being said, guys, I bid you all adieu. Like I said, I may be back late tomorrow with a gameplay stream. Who knows? I may be back later on tonight if I wake up with enough time. I appreciate everybody for watching and giving their thoughts and everything. But until next time, ta-ta for now.